that hair.
Be hungry. First on Fox, boys.
Yo, New York!
Morning radio personality Bill Keeler is no longer on the air. He was fired yesterday over a contract.
Father O'Shaughnessy?
Yes.
Ray Falwell in Lynchburg, Virginia. How are you?
Good morning, Jim. Go to hell!
Free your mind.
Well, now begins the stretch of rainy and unpredictable weather, I am afraid to say.
I think, though, it's going to be clearing up and it'll be decent 10 to 1 o'clock.
Yeah,
and then
we'll have... I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to say it right now. I'm going to say it now.
Say it again.
I will be at Herkimer Diamonds today. They are on the air from 2 until 3 on Home Shopping Network from the mines today.
From deep in the mines?
From deep in the mines. And I would rather it not be raining and thunderstorming.
Yeah.
During that time period.
So let me ask you this little behind the curtain talk here. When you're doing that and you're in the mines, is there internet service issues? Have they been able to run internet into
Special,
the mines?
They've used Newport Telephone, Newport Tel.
Okay.
And they run a special line in there for us, which allows us to get out. It's a live broadcast from Middleville at Herkimer Diamonds, and we do it probably 8 or 10 times a year. And one of them is tomorrow. It's today. Another one is Friday, when we're on the Jewelry Home Shopping Network version in London.
Wow.
So I have one of these
You're going
today,
global.
one of these today, and one in the UK on Friday. So
That's pretty cool.
wild, right?
Yeah. Right here. And they sell out. They don't last.
It is unbelievable how much ends up selling the Herkimer Diamonds jewelry that is many times is handcrafted. And we're talking about 500 million years old, these Herkimer Diamonds.
Wow. So
and
Dr.
the
Shabbat,
only place they can be found is in this part of the world. Pretty wild.
And Dr. Shavat is the host, right? It's
Yeah,
her that
yeah.
does the...
I'm not on TV. I'm behind the scenes.
Well, I figured
They
that,
wouldn't want me
no. But she's a professional. I mean,
They'd
she's
be
like,
if I went on and started doing stuff, they'd actually be asking for refunds of the jewelry.
pay us to watch this.
Thunderstorms rolling through here this morning. Here we go. Right,
Very active.
What is going on? This pattern that we're in is the second time. Last week we had one of these big thunderstorms roll through right around this time period. So take it for what it is. Okay. Let's get into the hospital thing. What do we know? What's the statement? We'll have somebody on, I believe, from the hospital tomorrow, right?
Yes. So essentially, I heard from one of the communications people at, wow, this is really annoying that our website does this. I heard from some of the people, the officials at MVHS yesterday, saying that it's imperative that everybody know that the open heart surgery is currently suspended. They are just suspending open heart surgeries. All other cardiac procedures and services are operating as normal. The MVHS officials say that they've temporarily suspended the cardiac surgery program, open heart surgery, while an external organization is brought on by MVHS to conduct a review aimed at strengthening the service. Again, this only impacts open heart surgery. Again, repeating, all other cardiac procedures and services are operating as normal. In the interim, Wynn Hospital will be collaborating with other reputable facilities in the region to ensure their patients who need quality cardiac surgical care get it.
This can't be it's not a good look, right?
It's not.
It's not. And
especially when they've MVHS when it was at St. Elizabeth in that hospital, which was, and this is the other thing that people need to realize is that those buildings were not good. Okay, St. Elizabeth was not a good facility. Period. We have a brand new facility, so. And people have criticized you and I for being supportive of the hospital, but guess what? We've got to be because it's here.
Stay with your. I mean, it's not. Nobody's criticized.
Oh, they haven't.
No, listen. I already heard from Richard this morning.
And
here's what.
I'm not always defending. Let me just say this.
Okay.
I'm not always defending. What I'm saying is we have to get over the fact of the new hospital BS here. Okay, it's a new hospital. It's here, and we have to try to be supportive of it, and we want it to succeed. But in this case. I don't understand it because St. Elizabeth, when that was up and running, the cardiac care was one of the specialties at MVHS. So I'm kind of baffled at the fact that they have to suspend the open heart surgery now, that it's in a new facility.
Okay. All right. Are you done?
I think so.
Okay. So I'm again hearing from Richard this morning. He said Brock was right. He was absolutely right all along. No. Let me just get that part out. No, he wasn't. Jim Brock wanted the hospital somewhere else. That was his whole thing. Jim Brock didn't say, if you move the hospital downtown, you're going to have to get rid of the cardiac open heart surgeries. None of that is true. These people have been ripping on this hospital from the... But you know what? Here's the thing. I can't imagine that where were they when the hospital was at St. E's and St. Luke's? I'm sure the same type of complaints. The problem I think the problem we have here, and we'll find out when we speak to them, is it's probably money and it's probably retirements. A lot of doctors. I spoke with a physician. And I'm actually trying to speak to somebody here this morning about this, but who, by the way, don't get your hopes up, will not come on the radio. But at least
getting anonymous comments.
At least I can get some information. So, but I think this all comes down to money and retirements. A lot of doctors retired during this, and don't forget. There's a little thing called COVID that came in the middle of this whole thing, which just basically put a major stress on MVHS and hospitals around the country. So this put all of this together. I think you're probably not probably. We are definitely better off in the new hospital. It is a better hospital. It has better workflow. It is cleaner. It is better, period. But you can't have that many experienced physicians retire and think everything is going to be the same. To me, that's where your problem is. It has nothing to do really with the fact that there's a new hospital. If anything, that is probably making things better. But it's like going out. I mean, you can't deny this. It's like going out and saying, all right, and trying to put a lipstick on a pig is really what we're talking about. You can't go out and say, all right, I know there's a blizzard coming, but we have some news. We are going to suspend all plowing operations.
Yeah.
Until an outside organization comes in and make sure we've got this down. That's kind of what they're saying. And that almost makes you feel like, God, did somebody come in from the state and say this isn't working right or you can't go forward this way? I don't know.
Or was it something internally that they're looking at and saying
it's possible?
We got to pump the brakes before something
happens. It's all possible. Now, I think the difficult situation, I would say, is if you have a heart attack and you need open heart surgery, which you hear the stories often of someone. I guess open heart surgery would be, and maybe somebody can correct me. Would that be putting stents in and
I don't know.
I don't know.
I think,
How far? What can be done at MVHS now, and at what limit do they?
Yeah, what constitutes open heart surgery?
Yeah,
I guess.
So I guess I don't know the answer to that, so I don't want to talk any more about it if I don't know. However, this is bad, but I don't think it's. I don't see it being bad as the fact that it's a new hospital. I think, just in speaking with the people who I know, a lot of experienced doctors have retired or have gone somewhere else. And when that happens, you're bringing in all new doctors. I read a very interesting thing out of the Wall Street Journal, I think it was, and they were explaining they had done a really interesting study on who's better, a young doctor or an older experienced doctor. Sometimes you feel like the younger doctor has been taught better practices and, all of that.
The latest techniques.
So this study said that when it comes to your everyday issues, a younger doctor is and can be statistically better than an older doctor. However, when you come to intricate procedures, such as heart surgery, such as brain surgery, very serious cancers, you are almost always better off with an experienced physician because you need that experience and that steady hand there. So it depends on your issue. If you're going in for something, just normal and everyday, a younger doctor can actually come up with some new techniques and new ideas. But when you get to the serious stuff, you really rely on those experienced physicians. So are we in a spot where we've lost so many of those experienced doctors that the brakes have been put on here when it comes to open heart surgery? I do not know the answer. We're surmising. We'll find out when we speak with MVHS, and we'll have somebody on tomorrow, is what we're told.
That's the hope, yes.
But as for the celebratory actions out of the No Hospital Downtown people, stop trying to reinvent history. You were against a location, and I'm going to tell you this also. If the Brock building, where our studio was for 7 years, if that building were on James Street, my guess is he would have been all for it because it would have allowed him to sell the building he's been trying to sell for the last 15 years.
Yeah.
But it isn't. Or if his building was down closer to the hospital and this new hospital was coming in, I believe Brock would have been all for it because it would have meant new business and hustle and bustle around his business. So, let's not reinvent history here.
And again,
let's not reinvent No Hospital Downtown.
Right. I've been supportive of MVHS, but there have been some huge missteps that I think they really need to go and take a serious look at, kind of how they move forward and, trying to be as best prepared for things as they can. When they first opened, they had the issue with not, the operating rooms were not.
That was tough too.
Functional, there have been some missteps, but
all right, let's move on.
Well, Easy and Ilian doesn't want to move on.
You're being apologetic. What's Easy say? Don't apologize. You stood up for it, and we stood up for where it went.
No, I did, but I also
This has nothing to do with that. So
I'm not apologizing. I'm also saying that on the other hand, I can still be critical in some ways.
Fair enough. What's Easy say?
Again, the hospital opened too soon. They were not ready, and the AC Heathrow and now surgery facility is not ready.
Well, I don't know if they're saying it's not ready. It's I guess maybe not ready for prime time.
Yeah, well, they're doing operations. They're just not doing open heart surgery.
But they have been, right? They have been doing it, and now they're saying we're stopping,
suspending.
That is different. And it really is something that is alarming. So let's see where it all goes. And here's Richard. Shame on you. Why are you sticking up for MVHS? Have you listened to what I just said, Richard? I don't think I did at all. I said this is alarming. I don't know. I'm not privy, apparently, to all the information you're privy to. You probably are a fly on the wall there, so you know exactly what's happening. But I'm not.
Is he, though?
Huh?
Is he a fly on the wall?
No, that's my point. I'm being sarcastic. So, however, this has nothing to do with where it's located. I do think it has everything to do with we've lost a lot of experienced doctors. That is not. I don't know about you, but that's not complimentary. I'm not complimenting MVHS because they've lost a lot of doctors. I think a lot of it came down to money, and that's a problem. However, I'm not going to say the building is burning when it isn't. If you want me to say that, that's probably what you want. Come on, Keeler. The administration is corrupt. The hospital is bankrupt. Outside organizations are already looking to take it over. Stop protecting these cons from the administration. I don't know any of that, and it may very well be true. It could be true. But, the moon could fall tomorrow. I don't know what the case is.
Well, bring your proof, Richard. I mean, you're just throwing that stuff out.
But we'll have them on the air tomorrow, I believe. And it is alarming. I'm saying this is not a good look. The statement is, I guess, the best statement you could put out. It's putting lipstick on a pig to me. That's just how I see it. So take it for what it is. Ben Simons is on this morning. He is. We're in springtime growing season. I got to tell you, I don't know how they're handling it with rain every other day.
Yeah.
It's just been so rainy.
Well, he's also going to talk about it's also growing season, but it's also move over because there's a tractor season.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Uptown Theater is getting over $200,000 in grant money to make improvements there. We'll speak with Devin Mahoney on that. We're going to get into the state budget when it comes to education. Our school's going to be in trouble. And, it's hard to see. It is very difficult to see when a school district had all this money, and really New York State schools had all of this money post-COVID. But the money had to be used in a very particular way. So we got great educational things like instead of the outdoor bulletin board that's in front of the school saying what's coming up, now we have a brand new electronic one. I don't know where that helps education, but I think a lot of money was spent on garbage across the state. And now we're sitting here and the state's pulling money back. So now what do we do? And I have to say, Rick Timms, who I'm related to, is my father-in-law, my wife's father. And this is something that he predicted early. I remember him saying this. You'd be very careful because when the state shuts off the money, this is going to be
not going to be any more.
This is going to be a problem, and that's where we are right now. Ryan Nobles from NBC on a little later on this morning. You want to talk about the hospital? Feel free. 315-736-0186. We're protecting no one. However, I don't think it's appropriate to reinvent history and all of a sudden say, see, they moved the hospital, now look what's happening. It has nothing to do with that. Has absolutely nothing to do with that. But I'll bet you COVID played a big role, and, maybe it is money. Maybe this hospital's not turning a profit, and that's why they can't pay the doctors, and that's why the doctors are retiring or going somewhere else. Maybe that's the issue. I don't know the answer to it, but we can ask questions tomorrow.
Do you want a follow-up comment?
Okay, Easy. And Ilian, what do you have?
Long hallways without rehab. Nurse station close by. Walking from areas to other areas not convenient.
Okay. I wouldn't know anything about that. All I can tell you is here it's a long walk to the hallway to get my Diet Pepsi because they won't allow drinks in the studio. Do they allow drinks? Ask Easy because he seems to know. Does Easy work there?
Easy, do you work there? Hold on, we'll wait for his response.
You're waiting for a response. Because there's no drinks allowed in the studio, so we have to walk out to grab something to drink.
It's awful.
It is just killing me.
Terrible.
I wonder if they
I'd rather
allow.
risk this equipment.
I wonder if they allow drinks in surgery.
No.
If he's pass me the scalpel and my Diet Pepsi.
Oh,
over
I'd
there,
spilled
could you?
Diet Pepsi into the patient.
Probably not. Right. How about the judge in Little Falls who has resigned
Yeah, I saw that.
after pleading guilty to selling drugs. So here you are. You're the judge. You're the one that is actually judging others for wrongdoing, and there you are.
Yep.
Mitchell Souls Jr., a justice in the Little Falls Town Court, pleaded guilty on April 17th to third-degree criminal sale of a controlled substance, a felony. He resigned the very same day, according to the Commission on Judicial Conduct. Souls was arrested last June, if you recall that story, for possessing and selling cocaine. He was charged with several felonies, including the one to which he later pleaded guilty. I wonder if he said, like the DA did in Rochester, "Don't worry about it. I'll convict myself.
Yeah, I'll be taking care of this ticket myself.
I'll take care of
Thank
this.
you.
I'll do the conviction. I'll take care of it.
He don't mind.
Don't worry about me." What time is Ryan Schmelz? He's coming up in.
He should be.
Yeah, we should have had him by
What the
now.
hell's going on with this lately? He didn't call?
I don't know, Davey. I don't know what's going on. There's a brand new, by the way, speaking of COVID, there's a brand new
I didn't do nothing, so don't blame me.
two brand new COVID strings that are out there now.
Oh, great.
Well, I'm not sure. That's something Dr. Hall always has talked about, is that these new variants are tend to be, each new variant tends
Weaker?
to be weaker and weaker than the one before. So according to the CDC, this is called, instead of, what was the N19 or all these
I
other
didn't keep
names.
track.
This is FL_IRT flirt. It's a family of flirt variants. After their mutations are now the dominant strains in the United States, according to the CDC. One of the variants, KP2, accounts for about 25% of all current infections. It appears to be highly transmissible. And here are the symptoms. Are you ready? Sore throat, cough, fatigue, congestion, runny nose, headache, muscle aches, fever, chills, new loss of sense of taste or smell.
Oh, great.
So if you lose your taste and smell, chances are you're flirting. Shortness of breath or difficulty breathing, nausea, vomiting, and good old-fashioned diarrhea.
Stop it.
So that's what they're saying.
They should call it the FML variant.
This is the new variant of COVID. So
Great.
awesome. Panera Bread is now not selling that charged drink anymore.
Yeah, this is a crazy story, huh?
And apparently there were 2 wrongful deaths
Yeah.
that are claiming that they died because they chugged this high caffeine.
I mean, how
drink.
much caffeine's in this drink that is killing people?
I don't know.
Allegedly.
I don't know. But it seems like there's too much. And maybe what's happening is people are having 2 or 3, and that's causing the problem. I don't know.
I don't know if that's necessarily Panera's fault. I don't want to be.
Well, they're no longer
upset.
selling it because it is so high in caffeine. I wonder how it compares to an espresso. Like, because I'll have maybe
me
a
some espresso.
quad every day to keep going.
I put espresso in my coffee every morning.
Some people cannot get through a morning without their coffee and caffeine.
But do you know what's weird? I can have an espresso at night with a dessert or something
And go to sleep.
right to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't drink coffee and I get through the day.
That's awesome, Davey.
Sorry, but I don't drink coffee and I have never touched it and I never will. So I get through the day without no coffee.
Are you anti-coffee? You don't like coffee?
I can't stand coffee.
You don't.
Coffee at the downtown hospital. I don't like it.
I'm not I want to tell you, I'm not a big coffee person either, but
I tried it once and spit it out.
ooh, yeah. So, does your mom drink coffee?
Yes.
She does. Okay. Did she tell you if you drink coffee, it'll stunt your growth?
No.
That's what we were always told as
Yes,
kids.
that's
You can't.
what
Right.
yes.
You were told that. You know you were told that.
Yeah, but I don't drink coffee, and I get through the day okay.
All right. That's awesome. Next hour, we'll celebrate. All right. Look how awake Davey is still. It's been 2 hours.
We're going to give you some espresso.
And he's still wide awake.
I've been up since 3:45.
Wow. Good for you.
So we did have a comment from Ralph.
Okay.
If that's all right, just in keeping with
Is it the hospital? All right.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
This is Ralph in Nanticoke, Pennsylvania. I had a 30-plus year professional relationship with first St. Luke's and then MVHS. Of course, outside large health systems are looking at our tiny system. Most hospitals in the U.S. have affiliations and are part of large healthcare systems. Also, when you speak with MVHS PR, ask them about the recent layoffs of several clinical and non-clinical leadership roles. MVHS is definitely in trouble and had their open heart program shut down. They didn't choose to close this lucrative program voluntarily.
I don't know if Mr. PA is accurate, but it sounds pretty logical, doesn't it?
It does.
And I think I said earlier, the stuff that I've heard is it has everything to do with money and everything to do with losing the more experienced doctors and bringing in a lot of new, younger doctors. And I'd also heard that this was not a choice, that this was it was shut down by the state.
Then they've got to get their stuff together, so to speak.
So we'll ask all those questions tomorrow. Syracuse police officer has been put on paid leave after being accused.
This is a crazy story.
After being accused of slapping his kid and putting the child's face near soiled sheets.
His kid?
I didn't think it was his kid, but the way the story is reading, it's slapping his child and putting the child's face near soiled sheets. Jacob Ternosky was arrested and charged on April 12th with endangering the welfare of a child, according to Onondaga County Sheriff's Office. He was arrested in Clay. The DA, assistant DA, said the charge stems from Ternosky slapping the child, grabbing the kid by the back of the neck, and placing the child's face in the vicinity of bed sheets soiled with urine. The child is not believed to have been injured. Is this a?
So he
and by
was
the way,
essentially
and by the way, the kid was 3 years old. So again, like with the hospital, we can surmise: is this a situation where the kid went to bed and this is how you?
Okay, I'm not a parent, so I'm just going to put that out there before I say this.
But you are
That's
a dog.
something
But you
do
are
with
a
dog.
You are a dog owner, and do you do that to a dog?
I would do that to my dog if they, went number 2 or peed in the house. I would not do that to a child.
Yeah,
I don't think I would. Do that
the
to a
animal
child.
people will tell you you're not supposed to do that to a dog. Certainly, the people will tell you you're probably not supposed to do that to a kid.
Oh my God!
The incidents happened at Ternosky's apartment on Buckley Road. Again, I'm surmising. Is it a possible? I'm not going to surmise anymore. I've done enough.
I mean, is 3-year-old potty training? Is that an age that the kid should be potty trained at that point?
I would think so. Yeah, but you know what? Some kids take longer. Boys are probably a little worse at it than girls are. An internal investigation by the Syracuse Police Department has been started. He could face discipline. The criminal investigation is being conducted by the Onondaga County Sheriff's Department. So I have never, ever, I remember when Joe Lode told the story that if somebody said something wrong, I think it was his mother, but his grandmother to his mother would take a needle and
instead of the
prick
soap.
the tongue,
Yeah, right.
instead of the soap. We all know about the soap in the mouth, all that stuff. I've never heard a story where somebody does that ever. I've never heard of a story like that.
That's bizarre.
It is bizarre, and this is another bizarre story, which involves authorities. In this case, it's a jail guard. A captain in New York City's Department of Corrections suffered burns. Wait till you hear this story. Burns and smoke inhalation when her body camera suddenly caught fire.
What?
So you got to think that the body cameras are powered by lithium batteries.
Oh boy.
So there's nothing any hotter than, well, I'm sure there are things that are hotter, like the sun,
Like
and other things.
nuclear-
But
like
a
nuclear
lithium
disaster.
battery fire is very, very intense. The captain was on duty at Rikers Island Jail last Friday when her body-worn camera ignited without warning.
Wow.
She was treated at the hospital for burns and smoke inhalation. And what do? You get that thing off her as quickly as you possibly can. That is a crazy story.
It is indeed, and it's a new thing now that the correction officers have to wear body cams now.
Well, and it's a new thing we're seeing with these lithium batteries catching fire. I don't know what you do in your house, although in my garage I have a battery being charged every night.
Yeah,
So,
right. Your car.
And beyond that, think of all the things we have. Your power drill, maybe run by a battery. Your weed whacker, all these things, and people put the batteries usually in the garage, always on charge, and they say that's probably not a good idea. That you shouldn't charge them when you're not attending them. But we do it all the time, right? You just put them on charge. They shut off automatically when they need to shut off, and you move forward. A father and a special needs daughter were held at gunpoint by police in Florida because a possible typo by an officer marked their vehicle as stolen.
Oh, no.
Somebody blew this one. The
boy.
family's now looking to sue. Of course, you would expect that. Here's a mix of the body cam footage along with, I'm not going to play that clip yet. I want to look at it before I play it. But this is and it was a typo, and they thought the car was stolen. Turns out it wasn't, but they were held at gunpoint.
Oh, my gosh.
And that kid was like 5 years old. So what's that going to do to the mind of a kid? You think there'll be a lawsuit there?
I believe there is.
I'm pretty sure there probably will. I'm going to do this, even though, Davey, you may be very much against it. Are you ready?
Yeah, what am I going to be against?
The official coffee of the Keeler in the Morning radio program is Daylight Donuts in New Hartford. Now, I know you love Daylight. You love the donuts. You love the breakfast sandwiches.
The matcha.
You love the bagels, right? The New York style bagels. You love all that, but you're not a coffee drinker,
Right.
and Davey is more against it than he is.
He's against it.
I'm against it. So, but for
I don't
those,
want anybody to hate me saying that I'm against
they're
coffee.
gonna hate you for it.
Okay.
But for the rest of you who love coffee and need it in the morning to keep you rolling, Daylight Donuts drive-through is fast. If you're driving along the arterial, you hop right off. You come right in the back, you get in the drive-thru, you're in, you're out, and you're on your way. And, Andrew, am I pronouncing it right? The matcha latte.
You got it, Bill.
You're correct. It is. It's now. I was calling it matcha earlier. It's matcha. The matcha latte is delicious.
Utica's first cannabis dispensary is local, licensed, and now open to all. Exit 31 Exotic is your home for edibles, flower, vapes, and all your cannabis needs. Visit Exit 31 Exotic at 255 Genesee Street or online at uticacannabisco.com.
For use only by adults 21 years of age or older. Keep out of reach of children and pets. In case of accidental ingestion or overconsumption, contact the National Poison Control Center hotline 1-800-222-1222 or call 911. Please consume responsibly. License number OCMCAURD 2400076.
Hi, this is Rob Hilton of Hilton Estate and Elder Law with important information that you should know about planning for nursing home care. Well, the best way, of course, is to plan ahead. The key is to make sure that you make decisions far ahead of the time that you need a nursing home. Getting the basic pieces in place, including power of attorney, healthcare proxy, will, trust, all those things, and working closely with your family to make sure you're organized and ready to go in case the worst happens. You should also know there are strategies you can employ, even if you currently have a loved one in a nursing home. When there's a crisis and someone's entered a nursing home, there are things we can do to act very quickly to protect some of the assets. It really does require that an elder law attorney be involved because the techniques that are used are very technical in nature. To find out more about strategies to protect your loved ones through proper estate planning, contact us at Hilton Estate and Elder Law. Call for more information and to schedule an in-person meeting to answer your questions.
Hilton, you know the name, they know the law. Hilton Estate and Elder Law.
Mountain Man Outdoor Supply Company is excited to announce the return of the 23rd annual Adirondack Paddle Fest. This highly anticipated event will return to Mountain Man Outdoor Supply Company, Route 28 in Old Forge, May 17th through the 19th. Join us for food, craft beer, music, kids activities, vendors, and more. Shop over 1,000 canoes, kayaks, and SUPs from the leading manufacturers and hundreds of accessories to choose from. Representatives and designers will be on hand to help you choose what is best for your paddling needs. Gear up for all your outdoor adventures with discounts on outdoor gear, footwear, and clothing for the whole family. Shop your favorite brands like Patagonia, Teva, North Face, MSR, and more. Follow Mountain Man Outdoor Supply Company on Facebook and Instagram for updates or for all your local outdoor needs.
They're experts in their field. They're called a Ruud Pro Partner for a reason. For outstanding service, knowledgeable technicians, and dependable home comfort, contact Tri-County Heating and Air Conditioning for all of your heating and cooling home needs. Call 315-829-4100 or check them out on Facebook or their website, tri-countyheating.com. Ensure your home stays cool when it gets too hot out by scheduling a system maintenance tune-up this spring with Tri-County Heating and Air Conditioning. Offer expires May 15th.
Ready to hit the road with confidence this summer? Look no further than Tall Man's Tire and Auto Repair, your one-stop shop for top quality tires at unbeatable prices. At Tall Man's Tire and Auto Repair, we believe that safety and savings go hand in hand. That's why we offer the best prices up front on top brands including Summit, Nokian, Bridgestone, and more. With Tall Man's Tire and Auto Repair, you'll drive away with peace of mind and money in your pocket. Locations in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, and online at tallmanstire.com.
From the Stanley Theater Studios, WIDX Utica, Rome, W295EI, WIDX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
Another college encampment cleared out. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. This one in Washington, D.C.
Why are you in riot gear?
Police went in and busted up a weeks-long encampment at George Washington University.
Just hours before, the GW president, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser, and D.C.'s police chief are expected to testify before the House Oversight Committee. A decision was made to clear the camps at about 3:30 this morning. Hundreds of police rolled in. At least 35 protesters were arrested. We're told some of those were students, some of them were not.
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson near the campus. There were also dozens of arrests in New York City where police cleared an encampment at the Fashion Institute of Technology. President Biden spoke out at a Holocaust remembrance event.
There is no place on any campus in America, any place in America, for anti-Semitism or hate speech or threats of violence of any kind.
Now, Israel has reopened a Gaza border crossing, allowing humanitarian aid in again for Palestinian civilians as talks continue in Egypt trying to broker a ceasefire with Hamas. There's more tornado damage after storms hit several states.
I was sleeping and then everything was just shaking really bad.
He's near Portage, Michigan, where a mobile home park was twisted apart. A FedEx facility and other buildings also badly damaged. There were more than a dozen people injured. Former President Trump's trial gets a one-day break in New York after he failed to get a mistrial declared over testimony from the adult film star he paid before the 2016 election to keep quiet.
The judge had to warn Stormy Daniels and the prosecution that her testimony gave irrelevant and unnecessary details about her alleged 2006 affair with Trump. But despite admitting the witness is hard to control, the judge still decided to proceed with the case.
Fox's Brooke Singman, the former president, is charged with falsifying records related to the payments to Daniels. Another Trump criminal trial that was supposed to start this month has been delayed indefinitely, the federal classified documents case. America's listening to Fox News.
The global elites are waging a war on our financial freedom. They want to control our future through digital currencies and a cashless society. By eliminating cash, they can track every transaction, impose negative interest rates, and even freeze accounts at will. But patriots are fighting back by investing in physical gold. Hi, Stephen K. Bannon here. I believe gold is the answer. It safeguards your wealth better than any other asset. And even better, with a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group, you can move your retirement savings into tangible, real gold without paying taxes or penalties. Rolling over your existing IRA or 401k into physical gold could be the smartest financial move you ever make. To learn more, get your free info kit from Birch Gold by going to birchgold.com/protect. That's birchgold.com/protect. Take a stand for your financial future. Go to birchgold.com/protect right now to receive your free info kit on gold IRAs from Birch Gold Group.
There are fresh war wounds in battle-scarred Ukraine. Russia launched another barrage of missiles and drones overnight.
President Volodymyr Zelensky called it a massive attack. 50 cruise missiles and explosive drones launched towards 7 Ukrainian regions. Many were shot down, but 16 projectiles breached air defenses. Energy infrastructure appears to have been the main target. Homes and railway lines were also damaged. Officials say 3 people were hurt, including an 8-year-old girl. The attacks came on the day Ukraine commemorates its defeat of Nazi Germany in World War II, and a day after thwarting an alleged Russian attempt to assassinate President Zelensky. Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
While Ukrainian troops keep battling Russia, an American soldier is jailed in Russia.
The Pentagon confirms Army Staff Sergeant Gordon Black was arrested in Russia last week, one of 2 American citizens detained in Russia in recent days. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre says.
As stated in our travel advisory for Russia, and U.S. citizens should not travel to Russia at this time, period. And we're going to continue to be very, very clear about that.
Jean-Pierre says neither American was in Russia on behalf of the U.S. government. The mother of the Army sergeant says her son was in Russia visiting a girlfriend. A spokesperson for the Army says Black did not have clearance to visit Russia while on leave from a base in South Korea. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stock futures are mixed, up slightly for the Dow, down a little for the NASDAQ, just like yesterday's market close. In the NBA playoffs,
Jaylen Brown coming with some heat.
That dunk among his 32 points, leading Boston past Cleveland 120-95 on TNT. Oklahoma City also won its second-round opening game, beating Dallas 117-95. There was overtime drama on the ice. Colorado beat Dallas in that NHL playoff series. It took double OT for the New York Rangers to top Carolina. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Good morning, WIBX 950 News Time 7:05. I'm Andrew Dominio. Cloudy skies, 53 degrees, still some rain in the area. Looks like it's going to clear up by the late morning, early afternoon, so be looking forward to that. We've got your full forecast coming up. This update brought to you by John's Mobile Home Parts and Accessories in Riscony Falls for all your mobile home needs. It's worth the trip. Go to johnsmobilehomeparts.com for more information. The Mohawk Valley Health System is putting a temporary halt in effect on open heart surgery procedures at Wynn Hospital. A spokesperson says that part of the cardiac surgery program is currently suspended at the Utica facility. That will allow a review to be conducted that is aimed at strengthening the service. It's important to note this decision only affects open heart surgery, and all other procedures will move forward as planned. A Syracuse police officer remains on paid administrative leave after being accused of slapping his 3-year-old child. According to authorities, 33-year-old Jacob Ternosky was arrested in Clay last month. He allegedly attacked the girl at his apartment and is also accused of grabbing her by the neck and placing her face near soiled bed sheets. An order of protection has been issued on the girl's behalf. Ternosky is charged with child endangerment. The New York State Department of Motor Vehicles is reminding Empire State residents about an important deadline. The agency says the deadline for folks to get a real ID is coming up on May 7th, 2025. Once that date arrives, a real ID, passport, or enhanced license will be required for everyone 18 and older who wants to fly domestically in the U.S. New Yorkers whose license or ID is up for renewal can get a real ID at no additional cost beyond the regular renewal fee. For more information, visit dmv.ny.gov. Utica police arrested 2 men for engaging in a knife fight. Police say they were called to Steuben Street to break up a fight and arrived to see 2 men brandishing knives at each other. The men were told to drop their weapons. One complied, while the other raised their knife and began walking toward the officers. The officers then deployed a taser after the suspect repeatedly ignored commands and arrested both men. 37-year-old Dookie Fernando Fuller faces multiple charges, including menacing a police officer and resisting arrest. The other suspect, 47-year-old Fernell Allen, also faces multiple charges, including harassment and menacing. And motorists driving on State Route 28 in Herkimer County will need to find an alternate route starting next week. The road is scheduled for closure for 3 weeks for bridge maintenance over Fulmer Creek. The closed section of road will be between the Jordanville Road and County Road 18 in the town of German Flats and Hammond Street in the village of Mohawk. The road closure is slated to start Monday, May 13th, and construction will be dependent on weather. Local traffic will be allowed to use State Route 28, but should anticipate delays. It is 7:08. Your weather forecast is brought to you by Adirondack Home Furniture.
Here's the latest from the WIBX Weather Center. I'm Mike Johnson. Today, thunderstorms this morning, showers, and then turning partly cloudy by midday, but thunderstorms this afternoon, high 75. Tonight, overcast, low 49. Tomorrow, showers later in the afternoon, high 61. That's the latest. I'm Mike Johnson from the WIBX Weather Center on WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Cloudy skies, 53 degrees. It is 7:09. Sports brought to you by IBEW NECA 43 local contractors, and it was the Yankees who got it done. Yeah. They extended their winning streak to 4 games after blowing out the Houston Astros 10-3 in the Bronx. Luis Gil earned his 3rd victory of the season after striking out 5 batters and allowing 1 run on 1 hit over 6 innings pitched. Alex Verdugo got the offensive slaughter started. He went 3 for 5 with a 3-run homer. Anthony Volpe and Giancarlo Stanton also went deep for the Bronx Bombers. New York is now tied atop the AL East at 24-13. They'll continue with their 3-game series tonight at Yankee Stadium. The Mets on a little winning streak as well. They won back-to-back games after coming from behind to beat the St. Louis Cardinals 7-5 at Busch Stadium. Jose Butto earned the victory after allowing 3 runs over 5 innings. Brandon Nimmo launched a 3-run bomb, and Pete Alonso went deep with a solo shot. New York is now 4th in the NL East at an even 500. They're at 18-18. They'll wrap up their 3-game series this afternoon. The Knicks will look to take a commanding lead in their East semifinal against the Pacers after taking down Indiana in Game 1. New York is hosting the Pacers for Game 2 tonight at Madison Square Garden. Jalen Brunson is hoping to remain red hot. He is the first player in NBA history to have 4 consecutive 40.5 assist playoff games. The Knicks also announced on Tuesday center Mitchell Robinson sustained a stress injury and will be reevaluated in 6 to 8 weeks. They definitely need him. They're dealing with a lot of injury, including Julius Randle, who will likely not be back for the playoffs. So the Jalen Brunson can stay hot, they'll probably have a good shot to go deep. The Rangers are up 2-0 in their best-of-7 second-round series with the Hurricanes. New York took down Carolina 4-3 in double overtime of Game 2 at Madison Square Garden. Game 3 will be Thursday night from PNC Arena. Revive Softwave Therapy on Genesee Street in Utica is changing lives. They're an FDA-cleared, non-invasive treatment, drug-free pain for pain and chronic injury. They are really good with inflammation and all joint issues. If you're struggling with neck, back, knee, wrist, arthritis, shoulder, or neuropathy pain, Softwave can help. And you can tell them you heard about them on the Keeler Show. They'll give you a significant discount on your initial consultation and treatment, part of Discovery Days. You can request an appointment online at reviveutica.com. That's where their phone number is as well, 315-725-8427. 315-725-8427. And I can tell you that from experience, I saw a significant decrease in my pain in my foot and ankle. After running my half marathon earlier this year, I had some lingering pain, and after 6 treatments, I went from an 8 to a 0, and it really helped me, and it may be able to help you as well. Again, it's Revive Softwave Therapy on Genesee Street in Utica. Dr. Tim Delmedico and his team doing everything they can to get you healed the natural way. This device brings your body's natural stem cells and blood flow to the impacted area, promoting natural healing. So what are you waiting for? Give up the pain pills. Give up the pain injections. All you have to do is give them a shot. 315-725-8427. Let the healing begin with Revive Softwave Therapy. ReviveUtica.com.
Replacing your roof isn't a decision you take lightly. You want industry standards met with affordable options and a crew who knows how important a sound roof is to you and your family. Dennis Padula & Sons Roofing is your hometown roofers with deep roots in our community. Padula Roofers specialize in residential roofing projects. They're a GAF certified master elite roofing contractor who keeps their standards above the rest. Call 315-733-1564 to find out more about their Roofs for Troops mail-in rebate. Dennis Padula & Sons Roofing, your hometown roofers. Mountain Man Outdoor Supply Company is excited to announce the return of the 23rd annual Adirondack Paddle Fest. This highly anticipated event will return to Mountain Man Outdoor Supply Company, Route 28 in Old Forge, May 17th through the 19th. Join us for food, craft beer, music, kids activities, vendors, and more. Shop over 1,000 canoes, kayaks, and SUPs from the leading manufacturers and hundreds of accessories to choose from. Representatives and designers will be on hand to help you choose what is best for your paddling needs. Gear up for all your outdoor adventures with discounts on outdoor gear, footwear, and clothing for the whole family. Shop your favorite brands like Patagonia, Teva, North Face, MSR, and more. Follow Mountain Man Outdoor Supply Company on Facebook and Instagram for updates or for all your local outdoor needs.
Adirondack Home Furniture knows that when it comes to outdoor furniture, you want something that's comfortable, durable, and stylish. That's why Polywood is the perfect choice. Polywood furniture is made from high-quality materials that are weather-resistant and easy to clean. Plus, each piece is designed with comfort and style in mind, so you can enjoy your outdoor space like never before. Whether you're looking for classic Adirondack chairs, stylish dining sets and sofas, or a beautiful fire pit, Polywood has everything you need to create the perfect outdoor oasis. So why wait? Transform your outdoor space into a place of relaxation, fun, and style with Polywood furniture at Adirondack Home Furniture. Stop in and explore their large selection of Polywood pieces and take one home today. Adirondack Home Furniture does custom orders, delivery, and setup. Stop in today and explore the world of Polywood. Adirondack Home Furniture in the former Riverside Mall, North Utica, or at AdirondackHomeFurniture.com.
Hi, this is Tom Cole from Gates Cole Insurance with exciting news. We're expanding with a couple of new offices in our area. One new location is Tall Pines Insurance in Boonville. They're another independent insurance agency that takes pride in making customers happy. That fits our culture at Gates Cole perfectly. Here's Greg Lee from the newest Gates Cole location, Tall Pines Insurance in Boonville.
The reason why I got into insurance was I wanted to allow my father the opportunity to retire and give back to my community. You know, we had the Boonville fire that wiped out a large area down here for us a few years ago, and so we showed up at the fire. You know, we were right there, ground zero, with our insureds, who made sure that they were taken care of quickly. You know, we were able to get people the money that they needed to cover their expenses from that loss.
For insurance for your home, auto, business, and just about everything else, trust your local independent insurance agency, Gates Cole Insurance, proudly representing Finger Lakes Fire and Casualty Company of Trumansburg, New York.
Hi, this is Rob Hilton of Hilton Estate and Elder Law with important information that you should know regarding your estate planning. Specifically, you should have prepared what is known as the Big Three. Basic estate planning is comprised of the three main documents that you need. First is the will, next is the healthcare proxy, and last is the power of attorney. What most people don't know is how important of the three the power of attorney really is, because New York State has no simple method for you to act on another's behalf if they become incapacitated. I am often asked, what is probate and why is it needed? Probate is the act of administering the will through the New York State court system. It requires a filing fee and other actions to be taken, as well as a petition to be filed. It is time-consuming and can be expensive. It can be avoided by using a living trust. To find out more about strategies to protect your loved ones through proper estate planning, contact us at Hilton Estate and Elder Law. Call for more information and to schedule an in-person meeting to answer your questions.
Hilton, You know the name. They know the law. Hilton Estate and Elder Law.
Memorial Day deals are here at Mattress Express. Save up to $500 on select Tempur-Pedic sets and then get up to a $300 prepaid Visa card from Mattress Express. Then take up to 60 months to pay with no money down for qualified buyers on Tempur-Pedic at Mattress Express.
Hey, it's all unfolding in Herkimer County. Explore the Herkimer Diamond Mines, where we will be today. And by the way, if you tune in to Home Shopping Network today at 2 p.m., you'll see Dr. Renee Shavat and all of the Herkimer Diamond jewelry items that are available, and we'll be coming live from the Herkimer Diamond Mines. Pretty awesome. Comes from Herkimer County in Middleville. You can take a boat tour along the historic Erie Canal. Do you have a business or event to promote? Reach out to the Herkimer County Development Facebook page, and they're here to showcase the heart and soul of this Herkimer County, incredible county. Other events coming up, the food truck season getting underway. Paddle Fest happens in just a week or so. I think we're about less than 10 days away from that. It's in Old Forge, May 17th through the 19th. All things that are going on in Herkimer County. It is happening in Herkimer County. The Downsville Violet Festival is June 8th through the 9th. Herkimer Diamond Days, August 10th. And, of course, the Herkimer County Fair, all happening in Herkimer County. It is happening in Herkimer County.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
Is it raining out still? Is it still raining out? It is. I got to figure out which mic I have.
Your back parking lot out here looks like a pond.
Oh, really?
So it was right in front of the cars. That's flooded.
I got to tell you, coming in this morning, I was in the middle of the thunderstorm. And the hydroplaning, and that arterial doesn't drain well.
No,
it doesn't.
And when that rain comes down, you are driving along, and all of a sudden you're going through a lake. Yeah, and you're all over the place.
It was raining so bad this morning. Usually, so what'll happen is I'll wake up and the dog knows, okay, now it's time for me to eat because Dad's up. So I'll feed the dog, then bring the dog outside. Even she was like, "That's okay, I'll wait."
Yeah,
I did not want to go
wet.
out.
It's really wet.
All right. How is farming handling the really wet?
It's becoming very depressing, to be honest with you. Usually we like to start to see the weather stream and the jet streams change there mid-April, so we start getting into that southern heat, the southern sun coming up through.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been happening. And what's happening now is us farmers that grow crops like corn and soybeans, we're starting to look at the calendar. We're running up against not only the weather, but we're running against the calendar. And interesting fact for you is like soybeans. We need sunlight for soybeans. Soybeans is opposite of corn, but we use soybeans and corn as a rotation. So soybeans need daylight to grow, mature, and become a nice harvest.
Yeah.
Versus corn doesn't really need a lot of sunlight. It does, but what it really needs is heat. We're not getting either one
of them, yeah.
And so right now the ground is cold. The ground is not ready for corn seed, but we got to start putting seed in the ground because we're running up against a calendar. You following me?
So is there anything you as farmers can do to almost, I hate to say it, but manipulate that in any way?
By the way, this is, I don't think I introduced you. This is Ben Simons. And
Farmer Ben.
You would say that he's a spokesperson, great spokesperson for the farmers in Oneida and Herkimer, Lewis, Madison County, all over the area.
I thank you, Bill, and Andrew for having me in on a regular basis.
That question again.
Go ahead.
Is there any way that you can?
Because I forgot it.
Because you're putting the corn, you have to put the corn seed in.
Yeah,
the ground's still cold. Is there a way to manipulate that process?
Not
at all?
really. There's little things that you can do, but we're not Mother Nature.
Yeah,
no matter
right.
what, Mother Nature has the upper hand.
Yes, she does.
So what we do is if we end up with a cold, wet season like this, we try to till the ground, get out and chisel plow it so it turns it browner. In other words, you bring in fresh dirt up so the sunlight, what little bit we do get, warms up the soil. But ultimately, we need heat. and we're not getting it.
Yeah.
So we're just right now we're looking at the calendar. Here we are, the first part of May. We need to get our soybeans in the ground so we can catch sunlight to make it grow and help it develop. And then the ground isn't ready warm enough for the corn seed. So if you plant your corn seed and the ground is not ready, that corn seed will lay there dormant for so long, sometimes it'll start to rot before it germinates.
Wow.
And so we're a little bit of a battle.
Well, there's got to be a change. I remember this is a long time ago, like 1999, somewhere maybe.
Mm-hmm. This is not new to us.
We had, it was an awful summer.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like it never got out of the low 70s, and we had rain all summer long. It just seemed like every time you tried to plan something, it was wet, and it just was terrible. We've had that kind of spring.
Yep.
It could mean when it turns hot and dry all summer long.
We're kind of hoping.
But we could end up with this.
Right.
So here's where, that's good. I'm just told we have a representative from MVHS at 7:45 this morning. That's big. Okay. I'm getting nothing but weeds.
Yep.
Weeds everywhere. So I want to ask you an honest question, and I'm pretty confident that you're an honest person, and you're going to give me the answer.
Come on, it's Farmer Ben here.
So as a cancer survivor, I try to stay away from all the weed killers.
Yep.
The poison stuff. So I've been using this concoction of dish soap, vinegar, and Epsom salt.
Yep.
Okay, and mix it all up. It does work. You need a sunny day for that, though.
That is correct.
Or it doesn't work.
Correct.
However, when you use, give me a name of one of the
for what
Roundup,
you're talking about.
Roundup.
The concoction you're talking about is equal to Roundup.
It is.
It is, because when you put the Epsom salt and the dish soap all together, it acts just like Roundup. It strips away the waxy coating that is on the grasses or any plant.
Wherever you're putting it on.
And then when the sun comes out, it sunburns it.
Okay. So,
and it kills it.
So with Roundup, you need sunshine too then?
You need not as much sunshine, but what you need is at least a few hours of no rain so that the Roundup absorbs into the plant.
Now, I've noticed that after I use the concoction that I make, it does work. It really does work.
And it does work.
Not as well as Roundup, though.
Correct.
And I'm so overrun with weeds.
But it's so natural.
It is. I'm so overrun with weeds. I'm considering, like we put down a bed, like the weed bed, and then we brought in these rocks instead of mulch. Everybody said this is the way to go, and it is. However, what happens is sediment and dirt gets in, and and these weeds are growing
through the rocks.
In the rocks.
Yes.
So
just put on a mask and gloves and spray that sucker.
That's what I'm thinking about. What do you think?
Yes. Yep. Use because you're a cancer survivor. I understand the concern and the community you live in, Bill. I've been to your house. You live in a very nice community.
Mm-hmm.
That is a very safe way to do it. Is use dish soap, vinegar, and Epsom salt. Mix up the concoction. You can go on Google and
that's right there.
Get the combination.
Actually, you can search our website. The recipe's right on our website.
Ooh, there you go.
And you just have to apply it a little bit more often than you would Roundup, but
My
it
question
does work.
is, should I use the Roundup?
That is a personal preference.
You must use weed killers in order to keep.
We do have to use it because we're considered a lot of acres.
Yeah,
we're covering a lot of acres. So to buy Dawn dish soap, I'd have to buy it by the barrels.
That'd be hard.
And
they'd love you.
But Roundup is a tool. It's a very controversial tool because there's TV is all cancer
because it kills everything.
It
right?
does.
I mean, it
Contact
kills,
kill.
Yeah,
kills everything. But the thing I want to stress, this is a good point, Bill. The thing I want to stress to your listeners and you, Bill, is that the amount of Roundup that us farmers use to control the weeds on our farm is so minuscule. It's like a quart to the acre. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And my son's going to yell at me and say, no, it's more like a pint and a half. But anyway, it's a quart to the acre. So we dilute it into like 10 gallons of water to a quart, and then we spray that over the period of an acre. You follow me?
All right.
Now, you, as a homeowner, I'm not just go with me. As a homeowner, you can run right down to Tractor Supply or Runnings, pick up a gallon of Roundup that's all pre-diluted, and I can tell you that most homeowners use way more per acre on land or an area than a farmer would because of the economics. You follow me? Us farmers, if we were to use the amount that a homeowner would use, we'd go broke.
Yeah. Well, and I got to tell you, a
homeowner definitely uses more.
What happens when you're pouring it on is you're like,
did that do it?
Is it sure I got enough? Let me just soak
Let's
this
buy
thing
2
in.
gallons.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Let's really put these weeds away.
I just want you to know. So us farmers do use Roundup. It is a tool that we use, but it's so minuscule. And there is research out there to try to come up and develop a different type of a Roundup or things to use for us farmers that are more environmentally friendly. But right today, 2024, it is a tool that we have.
It must not be cost effective for Roundup to use Dawn, Epsom salt.
No, you're
and
going
vinegar.
against the competition.
Yeah.
But for your homeowners that live like you do, Bill, and people live in the cities here, my recommendation is Google up the vinegar, Epsom salt, and use that. And what it does is, it's really simple, so everybody knows. It strips away the waxy coating that protects the plant from the ultraviolet rays.
If you get a nice
sunny day, and it sunburns the plant and kills it.
If you get a nice sunny day, it'll start dying within an hour.
You'll see the sunburn.
Yep.
Nice.
And it works, but
and does it kill grass?
Oh, it'll kill everything. Because it strips away that waxy coating.
But it is not good with, like, we're having a big problem with some of these invasive weeds that get in and they just keep spreading and they get into everything. And it doesn't work so good on that. Whereas that Roundup just kills everything.
Roundup will kill everything, but follow the label and be very sparing on it. And also be conscious of your neighbor, because like yourself, Bill, your neighbor might be very sensitive to cancer and a problem. So consult with with the label.
All neighbors, even the ones that aren't nice to you?
Well, you got to try to be a good neighbor. You really do.
If you're within the bounds, you'll be fine.
Okay, all right.
You wouldn't want your neighbor doing something that offended you, so you got to think their way.
That's a very good point.
You're being too kind.
Very good point. Yeah.
But the weather that we're having, the weather pattern right now is very detrimental to us.
This is awful.
It is. We have two beautiful Sundays, yesterday and the day before. And we all put in 18-hour days. My son last night was planting corn. He started planting corn yesterday morning at 10 o'clock, and he was still on the planter just before the rain here at 5 o'clock.
Wow.
Nonstop. So the farmers are out there. So be very cognizant.
Overnight?
Yep, overnight. Run all night. Get this seed in the ground.
Yeah,
that's our paycheck.
Yeah. Well, that's a good transition, because it is that time of year if you want to flip the triangle here.
Yeah, I didn't know which way the camera was. So, as you guys know, Rob Mashel, the county sheriff, Rob Mashel, and myself, Farmer Ben, every year here, either late April, 1st of May, when the tractors are out on the road, we do an awareness called the Slow Moving Vehicle Awareness Program.
Mm-hmm.
It's called, the nickname of it, SMV, which is this orange triangle I brought in today. And what it basically is it's mandatory, it's the law, that this sign has to be mounted on a piece of farm machinery or a slow-moving vehicle, SMV, slow-moving vehicle, that moves 25 miles an hour or less on the road. And what this is designed for is to be seen within 500 feet. So And so anyway, when people see this slow-moving vehicle sign, I'm telling you, you need to immediately take action, step on the brakes, and slow down. And what our message is not only to get it out to the road motorists, but the people that are using them for mailbox markers and driveway markers. What's happening is people are putting these up on their driveways and their mailboxes, so when you have somebody come over to your house, you say, oh, go to the triangle.
Yeah.
Well, people are getting very complacent. Motorists are getting complacent with this sign. Then when they see it out on the open road, they go, oh, it's just a mailbox marker. If you're driving at 55 miles an hour in your car and a tractor is driving at 18 to 20, let's say 20 miles an hour, you have 7 seconds before impact. That's a fact. And then
think about that.
With this new farm machinery that is so big because of the weather, we have to get bigger equipment to cover the ground that much quicker. I can tell you the facts show, the statistics and the facts show, that the motorist will be a fatality. These tractors weigh hundreds of thousands of pounds, like the one we did the other day, a Clinton tractor.
Mm-hmm.
That tractor and that disc harrow weigh about 40,000, 50,000 pounds, 25 ton.
Wow.
Your car weighs 3 ton. You take a 3-ton car and you run into the back of a 25-ton tractor.
It's not going to be good.
Tractor's not going to move, and the motorist is, I'm telling you, farm machinery is very rigid.
Yeah.
The motorist will be a fatality or the passenger in that car. So that's why we do this awareness every year, that the slow-moving vehicle signs should be removed from your mailboxes and your driveway markers. So it's very, very important. And this is our go time.
So that when you see this, it's alarming.
It should be alarming to you.
Yeah.
And what's happening, people are putting it out on the roads, making it complacent.
Becoming wallpaper.
Thank you, Bill.
Yeah.
So, and the other thing I wanted to mention to you guys today is May is National Beef Month. So I brought you and Andrea
appreciate the gift, as always.
some hamburger from the Star Hill. My cows up there, we raise some dairy cow. We have dairy cows. And then when we retire a dairy cow, we send her out and have her put all into hamburger. And then we eat it, and I gift it to my friends.
And
we appreciate that.
The nice thing
Beef
about
Month, May.
The nice thing about using beef like this is you know exactly where it came from. If you go to Walmart and you buy a pound of ground beef, chances are that
came
has been
from
mixed.
like 8 different places.
It came from out in the Midwest. It has a large carbon footprint.
But it also probably came from, who knows, 4 different places.
And sometimes, I don't want to get in trouble with Walmart, but sometimes a lot of the beef that we have doesn't come from America.
Correct.
And versus this beef that I brought you today, I can tell you that animal was born, bred, raised, grazed on Star Hill and then processed in Lowville.
What was the cow's name?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I think these packages of hamburger I brought to you never made it to being a cow. She became a maiden heifer. In other words, she couldn't get pregnant.
Got it. Okay.
And she was a very good hamburger candidate.
All right.
beautiful.
Well, listen, be careful. Look out on the road when you see one of those tractors. Be careful.
Amish.
It won't be good for anybody. Actually, the Amish use those as well.
That is correct.
Yep.
The sheriff has gone around to all the factions of the Amish in Oneida County and Herkimer County and explained to them that the new laws are they have to have 72 inches of reflective material minimum on their buggies, and they have to have this SMV sign. But some of the Amish do not believe in having an SMV sign on their vehicle because the bright orange, in their eyes, represents the devil. So some factions of Amish are very, very against. So they'll use that red, that it's kind of an amber silver, like you see on tractor trailers.
Yeah.
And they will not put this SMV on their vehicle because they say that orange represents the devil. And then other factions realize the importance of it. So every faction has a little bit of a difference versus the Poland group and the Steuben group.
Really quickly.
Most liberals think that the color orange represents the devil as well. I believe there's a Trump joke in there somewhere. The liberals hate the color orange. What is going on with the color orange?
I don't know.
All right, one final comment.
This is from Kevin in Utica. A question for Farmer Ben. A tree dedication in honor of Kevin Lewis is today at 5:30 p.m. Can you ask him to speak of Kevin? They were friends and colleagues.
That is correct, and I did not know about that. I'd like more information on that. I will plan on attending that function.
Yes, it's...
Kevin Lewis was a dear friend of mine. Kevin Lewis was the executive director of the Oneida County Soil Water Conservation for probably over 30 years. And I was on the Soil Water Conservation Board of Directors with Kevin for 27. Kevin was a very honorable man. Kevin was also a preacher man. I guess I didn't realize how much of a preacher until I went to his funeral. But Kevin Lewis, I'm telling you, was one of the most upstanding pillars in the community. And there is not a piece of agricultural land in Oneida County that does not have Kevin Lewis's fingerprint on it for conservation practices. Kevin was a great man for the farmers.
All right.
Thank you.
So Kevin in Utica, I'll try and get more details for you.
I'd like to know when that is. I'd like to be
5:30 today.
Okay, Ben, thank you. As always, we appreciate your time.
And thank you for the beef. Happy National Beef Month.
Where's the beef? It's right in front of you.
Here.
It's right here.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, Kevin. I'm sorry. Ben. Thank you. I've got names all over. I got Kevin, Devin, Ben. I'm going to get there. Speaking of that rhyme, can I take Devin right now?
Yes.
And then I'll break. Devin is with the Uptown Theater, and just recently they received some grant money that's going to really help in the restoration of the theater. And Devin, good morning. Thanks so much for coming on.
Good morning, Bill. Thank you so much for having me. We're very excited.
So I only have a couple of minutes. I'd like to get you back and talk more about what your plans are when we have more time. But we just, with this breaking news with MVHS, we're getting somebody from the hospital to speak with in just a couple of minutes. So let's plan to do this again. But if you could summarize what you guys are going to do with the $200,000.
Yeah, so it was a $212,000 capital grant from NISCA, the New York State Council on the Arts, with the support of the governor and the legislature. So the grant is going to fund auditorium restoration, specifically all the parts of the project that had to be deferred due to some escalating costs that we ran into. So this will include the restoration of finishes, historic details, audio and video equipment will be some of those investments. And again, it's a matching grant, so we're going to need to match the funds.
Okay. All
right. So we're hoping people will help us out with that. We've got some other avenues we're looking into. We're exploring historic tax credits, but the plan is to have the front half of the theater open by June, and then hopefully not long after that, we'll be able to put this money to use and get the whole thing done.
Well, that's awesome, and you know the work that you guys have done over there, this place was really being left to decay until you guys came in and began making these improvements, and the upkeep is very much appreciated.
Thanks. I appreciate that. It was, we came in right in the nick of time. The building was really starting to deteriorate. We were able to put a new roof on it in the last couple of years. It was starting to leak and crumble. So now that we have the roof back on the building, it's been fortified and shored up, and we're chipping at it a little bit at a time, trying to get the whole thing knocked out.
All right, I'll let you work it out with Andrew, but let's get you back on and talk more about this, especially when it comes to trying to raise the money to, I mean, when you're all said and done, you may be putting about $500,000 into the place.
We've already put $1 million into the place. When this grant round is all said and done, it'll be closer to 1.5, and then we're going to keep going after that.
Nice. Okay, good stuff, Devin. Let's do it again. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a good one.
All right, you do the same. Devin over at Uptown Theater. That is a great improvement going on over there. Davey, time to do Hobica's free money question of the day. And the amount of money we're playing with this morning is
$100.
Okay.
He got scared.
$100. I believe he got yelled at yesterday.
Screamed at.
I got scolded.
A feisty $250 was on the line. Caller number what?
Let's make it quick. Caller 5.
Caller 5, a great question today, too. Caller 5, right now, 315-736-0186. Fifth caller, 315-736-0186 right now. And then we'll speak with someone from MVHS on WIBX.
Mountain Man Outdoor Supply Company is excited to announce the return of the 23rd Annual Adirondack Paddle Fest. This highly anticipated event will return to Mountain Man Outdoor Supply Company, Route 28 in Old Forge, May 17th through the 19th. Join us for food, craft beer, music, kids' activities, vendors, and more. Shop over 1,000 canoes, kayaks, and SUPs from the leading manufacturers and hundreds of accessories to choose from. Representatives and designers will be on hand to help you choose what is best for your paddling needs. Gear up for all your outdoor adventures with discounts on outdoor gear, footwear, and clothing for the whole family. Shop your favorite brands like Patagonia, Teva, North Face, MSR, and more. Follow Mountain Man Outdoor Supply Company on Facebook and Instagram for updates or for all your local outdoor needs.
Are you prepared for the future? Help secure your family's financial well-being with professional guidance. Join us for a complimentary estate planning workshop presented by the DiGiorgio Law Firm with Phil DiGiorgio. Discover the key to creating a customized estate plan to protect assets and minimize taxes. Mark your calendar for 5:30 p.m. May 14th at the office of the DiGiorgio Law Firm, located at 258 Genesee Street in Utica. Space is limited, so RSVP today.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Get ready for this week's half-off Thursday deal with SeizeTheDeal.com. Score your half-off gift certificate to Utica Barbecue tomorrow morning starting at 8. Get $50 for $25 with Seize the Deal's half-off Thursday. Utica Barbecue at 244 Roosevelt Drive in Utica offers real smoke, real flavor. Like them on Facebook for all of their daily specials. Get your half-off Thursday gift certificates tomorrow from Utica Barbecue. Make sure you hurry because they sell out fast at SeizeTheDeal.com.
If spring allergies keep you trapped inside, then you need Navage Nasal Care to keep you breathing clearly and enjoying all the beauties of spring. Navage helps clear nasal passages that are often clogged because of seasonal allergies. Navage gently flushes a pure, refreshing saline solution through your nasal passages to clear out congestion, sucking out that springtime pollen and other irritants trapped in your nose. Navage is available online at Navage.com or in stores at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, and Target. Navage, Navage.
For the past 3 decades, the Good News Center has been committed to building relationships, better family relationships, a better relationship with God, and a better relationship with yourself. When your marriage is struggling or in chaos, your whole family suffers. The third option offers communication skills to build respect, trust, and intimacy in your relationship. If your marriage needs a pick-me-up, or it needs a complete overhaul, the third option gives you the tools to rebuild. This group is mentored by your peers, people whose relationships were struggling. They have learned to use the tools to better their marriage. Please call the Good News Center to find out more about the third option or our other support groups at 315-735-6210 or visit us at thegoodnewscenter.org. These programs are free and confidential. Call 315-735-6210. The Good News Center, building relationships for over 30 years.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
Is that you?
Yes.
That almost sounded like it belonged in the song, to be honest. All right, let's do, we have Habaika's free money question of the day. Joseph and Andrew Habaika each day put up some cash on the line. You get the answer right, you walk away with the money. Today, Davey says a mere $100.
A measly, pesky $100.
On the line, and it is Jason in Oriskany ready to take a shot. Hi, Jason. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Good. You ready to go?
I'm ready.
You know the deal. You have 7 seconds to answer. 7 seconds to answer. And here we go. Your question. 40 years ago tonight, this TV couple got married. Who are they? Ready? Go. It was 40 years ago tonight.
The Brady Bunch.
All right, so...
the Bradys.
The Bradys. The answer would be... He was just in town. Joni Loves Chachi.
Oh, Joni Loves Chachi.
Yeah, that was the...
Oh, boy.
Actually, I have a little audio for you. I know you're going to be dying to hear the audio. Here it is. I believe coming up. Am I going to be able to get it? Yes.
Because I can't help falling in love with you. By the authority given to me, I now pronounce you man and wife. You may kiss the bride.
Well, they kissed. 40. It was 40 years ago tonight that happened
on live TV.
Oh boy. Okay, we're going to give you the food and fun card. It's a $25 gift card. Good at Aquavino, Babes, Cookies, Q and Creamery, Taylor and the Cook, and any of the restaurants. Food service inside the Odd or the Nexus as well. So stand by. Your man Davey is going to hook you up. Okay.
All right, thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Thank you so much. And you probably were not born then. The Joni,
no, but I know
you're not 40 yet.
There was a spin-off of Happy Days, right?
It was, yeah. And it was a
Laverne and Shirley and all that
disaster. By the way, it was. They even brought Ron Howard and the Fonz, Henry Winkler, back for the wedding episode. That didn't help. Even the wedding episode didn't do well. It was not a very popular TV show. All right. We received word here through a press release, an announcement from MVHS that open heart surgeries are being suspended until an outside group, see if I get this right, until an outside group can come in and
help improve it.
Yeah. And boy, the comments are coming in, everything from I told you so to, and I don't understand the No Hospital Downtown group trying to take credit for being right. Right about what? Never did they have anything to do with saying, oh,
they're going to have to cancel their cardiac care.
Or the quality of care was never an issue for them. Their whole thing was
trains will explode, and
that's right. There was a train thing that could be a chemical spill. They're close to the train tracks now, and the other, of course, was they didn't want it downtown. They wanted it somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. They really loved abandoned buildings.
Where the victory is, and the other thing is there anybody in the world that wants to? Don't we all want this hospital to succeed?
I would hope so.
The better this hospital does, the less you have to travel to get the care that you need. The better this hospital does, the safer we all are. It's essential for this hospital to do well. So to sit from the sidelines and cheer, to me, is ridiculous. Chief Operating Officer Dr. Rick Carvolth is on the line right now with MVHS and with Wynn Hospital. Doctor, good morning. Thank you so much for coming on this morning.
Good morning. I'm very happy to be here.
So, if I could, I think it's fair to say we all want this hospital to succeed, right?
Absolutely. Yes, and frankly, our first and highest priority is quality of care. And I think in many ways, the naysayers have seen that despite a little bit of a rough start back in November, we've made tremendous progress on many fronts, including emergency services and a variety of other services that that our patients have experienced. And for that reason, we have put the cardiac surgery program on pause. Well, I'll just make a couple of comments about that, if I may.
Sure.
So we've been concerned about the program and the strength and quality of the program for a number of months. It is a small program, frankly, and I want to be clear that this is cardiac surgery only. It does not apply to all of our other cardiac services, of which we have, many.
Yeah.
It does not apply to thoracic surgery either, which are surgeries involving lungs, chest, and other diseases other than cardiac, or any other services that we're providing. There are a small number of physicians involved. There is a primary cardiac surgeon who's also the director of the program, and then a secondary surgeon. So we've had concerns about operations and outcomes of this program for some months and have been taking some action relative to that. At the April meeting of the board of directors, to whom we report regularly, they expressed concern as well and asked us to obtain an outside review of the program, which has begun. The process for that has begun. And then the Department of Health was here last week doing surveys and expressed concerns about it as well.
If I could, one of the comments we had today is that it's the state that actually shut down the program. Is that true?
No, that is not true.
Okay.
The state advised us to make immediate changes, which we had in process anyway. So we have made those changes, and one of the changes is to pause the program until we have obtained the cardiac surgical backup that we need.
Okay. I have someone here who has worked at the hospital and previous to the merger. The cardiac unit at St. E's was award-winning because it had a team that worked well together for years. Many of those doctors have moved on or have retired. Is that part of the problem?
It is. Well, first of all, I was not here then, and I don't know who those physicians were, but the surgeons are not the surgeons that were at St. E's.
Yep.
So I will say that. The cardiologists, though, many of them have been on our staff for many, many years. And the cardiologists work closely with the cardiac surgeons, obviously, make the referrals and follow the patients, before and after. So much of the overall cardiac program is the same groups of physicians.
Okay. Dr. Carvolth, now we talk about open heart surgery, and this is something, Bill and I had talked about previously in the morning. Let's say somebody has a heart attack. They're still going to...
and let's say they needed stents put in or something
or
like that.
There was an immediate emergent heart attack. Would they be good to go to win?
Absolutely, yes. We had a brief pause. You may have heard that we were on what's called STEMI divert yesterday for a brief period of time. And the reason for that was we didn't have a document that we needed from our partner, St. Joe's in Syracuse, for transfer arrangements.
Okay.
That's now in place, and we are no longer on STEMI divert. So we will continue to receive cardiac patients, continue to be able to do PTCAs and stents and, life-saving procedures, most of which don't require surgery. It's rare, actually, that patients require emergent cardiac surgery. And in those cases, they will be transferred for now until we reopen our own cardiac surgery program.
Okay. All right. We're speaking with Dr. Rick Carvolth. Dr. Carvolth is the Chief Operating Officer at WIN and MVHS. I can't imagine when what it was like in the conference room or wherever you guys had this discussion when the decision was made to shut down temporarily, because you had to know that was going to lessen the public's confidence in the hospital. However, on the other hand, I feel like it's the takeaway could very well be that you're willing to do something like this, even if it doesn't have a good look, for the safety of the people who are going to the hospital. I think that's pretty important.
Well, I couldn't have said it better than that. Safety and quality outcomes are the most important. And if we are not able to produce that, then we shouldn't be doing those services. So for the time being, because we haven't been able to make progress, particularly with the surgeons that are in the program currently, we paused it.
I don't want to keep beating a dead horse, but on the a lot of talk, of course, coming from the opposition, if you will, those people that were against the hospital going downtown. A lot of "I told you so." The facility, though, you've been elsewhere. It seems elsewhere around the country, I assume.
Yes.
How does this facility rate, in your opinion? It's brand new. How does it rate?
It's a 10 out of 10. I have worked in many facilities over a very long career. This hospital was extremely well planned, well designed, well equipped. It's been a difficult transition. I'm aware of that. Everyone is. For many reasons, bringing two legacy hospitals into one facility has created tremendous challenges. But we're making great progress with that. And we have great outcomes throughout of our programs, and that's why this program in particular was extremely concerning for us.
We also had another person that works at the hospital saying that since the merger, since the move, but even more importantly and more specifically since COVID, a lot of physicians have either moved on or retired. So there are a lot of new doctors. And with that, this person said that's cause for, at least people should be aware of the fact that there are a lot of new doctors. Is that true? And does that concern you? Is there a ramp-up time for experience? And I know this is a very difficult question, and I butchered it, but if you could answer it, I'd appreciate it.
Well, again, I don't apologize for being new. I'm new to the community, but this is a national phenomenon. Our population is aging, and our doctor population is aging. So this is not new to Utica or anywhere else. The pandemic probably has made that somewhat worse. I don't feel that it's worse here than anywhere else I've seen. But the flip side of that coin is it's great to have young doctors. Maybe they don't have, decades of experience, but they're recently trained and they're eager and they're energetic. And as you know, we have residency programs here. So it's a training institution which always elevates everybody's game. We have excellent doctors, and we all need to be prepared for some transition in everything.
At some point, by the way, those experienced doctors were new doctors.
Exactly.
That is true. They just didn't plop into experience. Andrew, last question here.
Yeah, and Doc, really quickly, because we're running out of time, the financial situation for MVHS, I know this is not maybe your department 100%, but how's the financial strength of the hospital?
It's improving dramatically. I think you know that we're partnering with a consulting company called Guidehouse, helping us to look at, frankly, doing things differently, more efficiently, more effectively, and continuing to get, great and better results. So we are making great progress. We just had a report from our CFO yesterday on the progress we've made. So we're on track. We have ground to make up, but we're well on the way.
Doc, we appreciate you coming on this morning. Dr. Rick Carvolth, Chief Operating Officer at Wynn Hospital MVHS. Thank you so much. A lot of people have a lot of questions, and coming on and answering them on a tough day is greatly appreciated.
Well, happy to do it. Thank you.
Right, thanks so much. We'll talk more about this on the other side, but there you have it, according to the COO, Dr. Rick Carvolth. Got a break. We have had some thunderstorms here this morning, and expecting that to turn to, believe it or not, some sun and clouds.
From the Stanley Theater Studios, WIDX Utica, Rome, W295EI, WIDX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
Police in riot gear at another college campus. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. And pro-Palestinian protesters were angry about it early this morning in the nation's capital.
Hundreds of police officers cleared the encampment here at George Washington University about 2 weeks after it began. The statue of George Washington remains defaced, but at least 35 protesters were arrested.
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson near the campus. Another encampment broken up also in New York City. In the war in Gaza that's being protested, Israel's reopened one border crossing, allowing humanitarian aid for Palestinian civilians.
But the vital Rafah checkpoint remains closed after it was seized by an Israeli tank brigade. People there still report heavy shelling in the area. Meanwhile, CIA Director William Burns is back in Egypt to resume talks on a pause in the fighting.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. Former President Trump doesn't have to go to court this morning in New York. It's an off day at a trial after Stormy Daniels' testimony about the alleged sexual encounter he paid her to keep quiet about before the 2016 election, but he wasn't impressed.
Their case is totally falling apart. They have nothing on books and records, and even something that should bear very little relationship to the case. It's just a disaster.
He denies the charge of falsifying records and the payments to Daniels. The Trump classified documents federal trial that was supposed to start this month is on hold indefinitely over several legal disputes in that case.
Judge Eileen Cannon has set some deadlines, many deadlines, at least a dozen, going on late into the summer, pushing the trial back at least until the end of July.
Fox's David Spunt. There's tornado damage in Michigan. A FedEx facility was hit hard, trapping workers inside for a short time. Lauren Coomer with Fox 17 TV standing near debris strewn about in Pavilion Township, not far.
A mobile home community that was hit as well. About 16 to 20 homes were destroyed in there. Thankfully, this morning, the only injuries that we're hearing of
America's
are very
listening
minimal.
to Fox News.
The global elites are waging a war on our financial freedom. They want to control our future through digital currencies and a cashless society. By eliminating cash, they can track every transaction, impose negative interest rates, and even freeze accounts at will. But patriots are fighting back by investing in physical gold. Hi, Stephen K. Bannon here. I believe gold is the answer. It safeguards your wealth better than any other asset. And even better, with a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group, you can move your retirement savings into tangible real gold without paying taxes or penalties. Rolling over your existing IRA or 401k into physical gold could be the smartest financial move you ever make. To learn more, get your free info kit from Birch Gold by going to birchgold.com/protect. That's birchgold.com/protect. Take a stand for your financial future. Go to birchgold.com/protect right now to receive your free info kit on gold IRAs from Birch Gold Group.
The latest pro-Palestinian protest encampments broken up on college campuses in Washington and New York came hours after President Biden spoke out about all that anti-Israel unrest at a Holocaust remembrance event.
Too many people are denying and downplaying the atrocities of the Holocaust and Hamas's brutal attack on Israel on October 7th, President Biden says.
It's absolutely despicable, and it must stop.
The president singled out Jewish students on college campuses facing harassment and threats.
We've seen a ferocious surge of anti-Semitism in America and around the world.
The Department of Education's Office of Civil Rights is sending every school district and college in the country guidance on anti-Semitism that could spark federal investigations amid a sharp increase in complaints. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
They finished an underwater mission in Baltimore. They found the final body of the 6 construction workers killed when the bridge they were on was hit by a cargo ship collapsing that bridge in March.
Maryland State Police say salvage teams found the body, later identified as 37-year-old Jose Minor Lopez. The bridge collapse remains under investigation. Salvage crews have cleared temporary routes in the Patapsco River so some ships can access the port of Baltimore, but the container ship that hit the bridge remains in the channel. Lisa Brady, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stock futures are down modestly before today's trading. In the NBA playoffs, Boston beat Cleveland 120-95. Oklahoma City topped Dallas 117-95 in second-round opening games. Dallas's hockey team also lost a second-round opener. The Colorado Avalanche beat the Stars 4-3 in overtime. There was double OT in New York.
Panarin's shot blocked by Slavin. Follow-up is free. They score!
Vincent Trocheck won it for the Rangers, beating Carolina 4-3 on ESPN to go up 2-0 in that NHL playoff series. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
Good morning, WIBX 950 News Time 8:05. I'm Andrew Dominio. Still some lingering rain showers, heavy in some areas, cloudy skies here in Marcy. We're at 55 degrees. Your full weather forecast is coming up. This update brought to you by John's Mobile Home Parts and Accessories in Oriskany Falls. For all your mobile home needs, it's worth the trip. Go to johnsmobilehomeparts.com for more information. Our top story this morning, the Mohawk Valley Health System putting a temporary halt in effect on open heart surgery procedures at Wynn Hospital. A spokesperson says that part of the cardiac surgery program is currently suspended at the Utica facility. That will allow a review to be conducted that is aimed at strengthening the service. It's important to note this decision only affects open heart surgery, and all other procedures will move forward as planned. We just spoke to Chief Operating Officer of MVHS, Dr. Rick Carvolth, and he said it was a decision that was made internally to halt the service. The New York State Department of Motor Vehicles is reminding Empire State residents about an important deadline. The agency says the deadline for folks to get a real ID is coming up on May 7th, 2025. Once that date arrives, a real ID, passport, or enhanced ID will be required for everyone 18 and older who wants to fly in the U.S. New Yorkers whose license or IDs is up for renewal can get an ID at no additional cost beyond the regular renewal fee. For more information, visit dmv.ny.gov. Disturbing story out of Syracuse as a Syracuse police officer remains on paid administrative leave after being accused of slapping his 3-year-old child. According to authorities, 33-year-old Jacob Ternosky was arrested in Clay last month. He allegedly attacked the girl at his apartment and is also accused of grabbing her by the neck and placing her face near soiled bed sheets. An order of protection has been issued on the girl's behalf. Ternosky is charged with child endangerment. Utica police arrested 2 individuals for a shoplifting incident from April. Police say they were dispatched to the Walmart in North Utica after 2 people filled their carts with items with a total value of over $1,000 and attempted to leave the store. The suspects dumped the carts and fled when they were confronted by store associates. The Criminal Investigations Division took over the case and were able to identify the suspects using surveillance footage and working with loss prevention personnel. 22-year-old Mitchell Wallace and 38-year-old Brian Stannard, both of Rome, turned themselves in and were charged with 4th-degree grand larceny. And sorry about that. Utah is the best state in the country. That's according to the U.S. News and World Report's latest rankings of the overall best states, which was released yesterday.
My son was just camping in Utah, and I said, why would you go camping in Utah?
And they say it's beautiful.
And it's apparently beautiful.
Utah was listed at number 1 after earning top 10 honors in multiple categories, including 2nd in education and 3rd in economy. Its lowest score came in natural environment category, where it was placed in the bottom 5 of states. This is the 2nd year in a row that the Beehive State has topped the rankings.
I think there's a lot of sister wives voting for him. That's what I think's going on. So.
That's what's going on. Mm-hmm. Exactly. It is 8:08. Your weather forecast is brought to you by Adirondack Home Furniture.
Here's the latest from the WIBX Weather Center. I'm Mike Johnson. Today, thunderstorms this morning, showers, and then turning partly cloudy by midday. But thunderstorms this afternoon, high 75. Tonight, overcast, low 49. Tomorrow, showers later in the afternoon, high 61. That's the latest. I'm Mike Johnson from the WIBX Weather Center on WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Right now, it's 55 degrees under cloudy skies at 8:09. Sports brought to you by IBEW NECA 43 local contractors. The Giants are adding to their quarterback room. According to NFL Network, the G-men were awarded former New England Patriots signal caller Nathan Rourke off waivers. Starting quarterback Daniel Jones is still recovering from his torn ACL and is unlikely to participate in many on-field drills during the beginning of training camp. Rourke has also spent time with the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Yankees extended their winning streak to 4. After blowing out the Houston Astros 10-3 in the Bronx, Luis Gil earned his 3rd victory of the season after striking out 5 batters and allowing only 1 run on 1 hit over 6 innings pitched. Alex Verdugo got the offense going early in the game. He went 3 for 5 with a 3-run shot. Anthony Volpe and Giancarlo Stanton also went deep for the Bronx Bombers. New York is now tied atop the AL East with Baltimore at 24-13. They'll continue their 3-game series tonight at Yankee Stadium. The Mets also have won back-to-back games after coming from behind to beat the Cardinals of St. Louis 7-5 at Busch Stadium. They are now 18-18 and are in 4th in the NL East. They'll wrap up the 3-game series this afternoon. The Knicks.
I didn't see the game yesterday, but it's telling me that they're still having a problem with their starting pitching. So they're giving up 4 or 5 runs with the starter. They bring in middle relief, and everything settles. Their relief has been really strong.
Yeah.
For the most part, but 2 in a row. Okay.
It is a positive, in the positive direction.
Treating the Cardinals like the team they are. Let's sweep.
That's right. The Knicks are looking to take a commanding lead in their East semifinal against the Pacers. After taking down Indiana in Game 1, New York is hosting the Pacers for Game 2 tonight at MSG. Jalen Brunson hoping to remain red hot. He's the first player in NBA history to have 4 consecutive 40.5 assist playoff games. The Knicks also announced on Tuesday some tough news that center Mitchell Robinson sustained a stress injury and will be reevaluated in 6 to 8 weeks. WIBX 950 News Time, 8:11.
I want to tell you about River Hills Properties, the fastest growing real estate company in upstate New York, and they've done it in about 10 years. The number 1 independent real estate agency in the region. Number 2, if you include the big chains. It's all about services, a full-service real estate agency that really works for their clients. Extremely important when it comes to lowering the stress level. They are there for you. Andrew is one of those real estate agents at River Hills. Online, they have offices, by the way, in Barneville, Little Falls, Rome, and Utica. Online, it's riverhillspropertiesllc.com. And on TV, it's their new show called Sold in upstate New York. You can see it on YouTube anytime, or the new time slots, Saturday at 2 p.m. on WPNY, and then on Fox on Sundays at 8 a.m. and 11:30 p.m. You can watch it right on TV. Otherwise, check them out on YouTube. Sold in upstate New York with River Hills Properties. Nobody sells homes like River Hills Properties.
The service was second to none. They cared about my home, was clean and neat when they're finished. Collis & Sons' generations and generations of excellence shows in the workmanship, which start to finish, sales, service are all there to help you. And they care about your home and the community. And that's why I would recommend Collis & Sons for any heating, cooling, and insulation needs.
Transform your home comfort with Collis' expert energy advisors. Like Gordon here, you may even qualify for no-cost upgrades like free insulation. Request your free home energy assessment at fedupcollis.com.
On behalf of IBEW Local 43 Union Electricians and the NECA Contractors, we are pleased to partner with Alfred State University in providing our members with an opportunity to enhance their education at this great university.
Alfred State is proud to strengthen our long history of working with unions to create non-traditional pathways for career advances in the skilled trades.
Central New York's future is bright, and the IBEW Local 43 and NECA will continue to help light, power, and grow Central New York.
Saturday, May 11th, the Rome Capitol Theater presents CNY On Stage Live. Join host Sydney Irving and her band The Mojo, American Idol contestant Ethan Harris, plus comedians, dance groups, a magician, and more. CNY On Stage Live, Saturday, May 11th, 7 p.m. at the Rome Capitol Theater.
Tickets available at romecapital.com. CNY On Stage Live is part of the Capitol Arts Complex Local Arts and Music Showcase during the month of May.
Now's the time to get a great deal on select Kubota compact tractors. The Kubota L Series is the #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S. Right now at participating dealers, get a Kubota compact tractor for 0 down 0% APR for up to 60 months plus. Save up to $2,300 on select equipment. Now through June 30th, see us or go to KubotaUSA.com/disclaimers for full disclaimer. Visit us at WhitesFarmSupply.com.
White's Farm Supply.
Utica's first cannabis dispensary is local, licensed, and now open to all. Exit 31 Exotic is your home for edibles, flower, vapes, and all your cannabis needs. Visit Exit 31 Exotic at 255 Genesee Street or online at uticacannabisco.com.
For use only by adults 21 years of age or older. Keep out of reach of children and pets. In case of accidental ingestion or overconsumption, contact the National Poison Control Center hotline 1-800-222-1222 or call 911. Please consume responsibly. License number OCMCAURD 2400076.
Hi, this is Bill Cole from Gates Cole Insurance with exciting news. We are expanding with a couple of new offices in our area. One new location is North Country Estates Insurance in Lowville. They are another independent insurance agency that takes pride in making customers happy and fits our culture at Gates Cole perfectly. Here is William Schaub from the newest Gates Cole agency, North Country Estates Insurance in Lowville.
Working with us as an independent agent with this many companies, we will often call our clients and say, we're going to reduce your premium if you like. We have the companies that do well in New York and specifically this area. The coverages that we provide are commercial and personal insurance. That's the home, the auto, ATV, motorcycle. There's nothing more fun than taking care of a customer and being able to tell them that we're able to save them some money.
Proudly representing Finger Lakes Fire and Casualty Company of Trumansburg, New York. Gates Cole Insurance. We'll take care of you.
If spring allergies keep you trapped inside, then you need Navage Nasal Care to keep you breathing clearly and enjoying all the beauties of spring. Navage helps clear nasal passages that are often clogged because of seasonal allergies. Navage gently flushes a pure, refreshing saline solution through your nasal passages to clear out congestion, sucking out that springtime pollen and other irritants trapped in your nose. Navage is available online at Navage.com or in stores at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, and Target. Navage, Navage.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Yeah. Oh, there goes Andrew. All right, it's 8:17 in studio right now. Is my father-in-law.
He doesn't have his guitar.
The father of my wife. And is in studio here, of course, with representing SSFC and Archie Timms, Inc., dealing with education, the budget out, and I believe it doesn't look very good.
No, the budget doesn't look very good at all for school districts. As a matter of fact,
we're talking about the state budget.
The state budget, yeah. You know, it's funny because it was 2 weeks late. So here we got school districts trying to finalize their budget, trying to find out how many people they can keep hired, what kind of programs they're going to offer.
Yeah.
We're waiting and waiting. They've got deadlines in terms of advertising and so on. And the state budget's 2 weeks late, and it's really passed a couple days before boards have to make their decision. The good thing about it is that the state budget turned out better than what was proposed by the governor, which would have been catastrophic.
So it's kind of interesting because, correct me if I'm wrong, what the initial proposal was really bad.
Oh yeah,
and then they brought it. Really, were able to. It's almost like saying, "I'd like to borrow $200," and okay, that's fine. I'll borrow $100.
Yeah,
100 looks so much better than 2, and it's easier to deal with. And I kind of feel like that's kind of what happened with the budget.
Yeah, let me give you a couple examples. For instance, Oriskany, a high-performing district, by the way. Oriskany is a small district, but it's very high-performing. The governor had slated to take over $500,000 away from their state aid. In other words, deduct it from their state aid.
Yeah.
You've got another one. Let's say, for instance, Remsen. Almost $400,000 deduct from their state aid. Holland Patton, $400,000 deduct from their state aid. Westmoreland, $237,000 deduct. So where did we land? She just promised not to take anything away, but you're not going to get any extra help from the state.
So basically, it's a net gain of 0.
Right. So what happened was she negotiated so districts in those cases got 0. Now, other districts got increases, but their increases were muted. The formula for the increase is supposed to be based on the consumer price index, which is 4.1% right now. And what she wanted to do was not use the consumer price index. Of all the things that are wrong with the formula, which is about 40 pages of algebra, she picks the one part that works, and she wants to change it. Now, what she's trying to do is decrease money to schools, because what happened was over the last few years, we were never paid the amount the formula said.
Right.
She finally made it all up, but she did it using federal money. And now the federal money is gone. So now she wants to take some of the money back or decrease the rate of increase. So what happens to me, I say to school districts, it looks like this. Okay, you made $100 this week. Let me give you a raise. So I give you a $5 raise. All right. And I know now because I put on more duties and everything, so I expect you to do more. For instance, now we have more social workers and we have more behavioral specialists. The kids lost a whole year of education, first grade right through K-12, right? Some kids didn't even have graduation. All right. So we try and make it up so I understand it. So I'm going to give you $5 more. Then the next year comes and says, I know you're still under stress because you can't make this all up in a single year. Let me give you another raise. Here's $1.
Right.
So what happens is it's increasing for some districts, but the rate of increase is pretty depressed. And for other districts, it's like, well, look, I don't know. It seems like you have less kids than you had last year, so it ought to be easier. Well, think of it this way. You got 14 grades, 13 grades, depending on if you have UPK, Universal Pre-Kindergarten, or not. So we lose 20 kids in a year. So how many people can you lay off? Well, just one kid per grade level. So nothing changes.
Right.
And what happens is, what people don't understand is, maybe you lose 20 kids, okay?
Yeah.
But say then 5 come in. But the 5 that come in are needy kids or homeless kids or kids who have some type of social emotional distress. Now the resources of the school district are stressed even more. So she's not taking any of that into consideration. She really doesn't know anything about education, the process, and what the expectations are. I think she's just looking at the dollar value for the state.
And here's a question. It's almost and again, I hate to be in a position to defend the governor, but also too, I mean, it's also got to be the people that she has in place in her staff that should be looking into this stuff for her.
Yeah, you would think.
It's got to be at that level too that there's a disconnect.
Well, there you go. I think one of the things that was really interesting is we had proposed taking a look for the last 5 to 7 years, taking a look at the formula and making sure it's not only adequate, but it's equitable between the districts to make sure that the districts that are most needy get the most help. So we've tried this. We actually even sued her. Okay, until the federal money showed up, she didn't want anything to do with it. But when the federal money showed up, she said, okay, I'll pay what's due. And now she's reneging back. Okay, but the key thing is now she wants it studied, all right, but she doesn't want the state education department to study it, who knows anything about education. She wants another entity that's really not into education. But you know what?
that.
They're good people. They're good statisticians. Okay, but the thing is, we're going to be dealing with kids, parents, the needs of communities. We're dealing with poverty. You know, we've got some of our districts, like 60% of the kids are eligible for a free lunch because they're poverty stricken. I mean, seriously, all these things have to be taken into consideration.
Well, there's also elements of inflation that come into this as well. I mean, the cost of food to feed these kids, or supplies.
School lunch programs are under siege financially. But besides that, you know, we talk about, we'll say we go out and we buy a car costs more, or this costs more, or a phone costs more, or whatever we're going to buy. A bus costs more. That thing, she also passed a law saying that we have to buy zero-emission buses starting in 27, 28. Right now, a regular 67-passenger bus goes for about $160,000, $170,000 each. Those zero-emission buses are going to go for $500,000, but they're throwing in the charger.
Oh,
that's good.
Yeah, but the problem is we have no place to plug the charger in for most of our school districts, so I can see costs coming up. So
not to mention, it's going to cost, if you have a fleet of 30 buses, you're going to see an increase in your electric bill.
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt about it. And the grid isn't ready for it. So what happens is, to me, I see a lot of not planning on the part of the state here.
Yeah.
In other words, a lot of let's do this, let's do that, but no planning. So I guess my message I've said to school districts is try and save as much money as you can, because we can't count on the state to come through after they've made promises. We just can't count on it. And I don't think the governor likes that idea. So, you know, she's saying, you guys got all this money. Well, here's the way I look at it. My hot water tank has been spurting on and off hot and cold water here for a while, so I started saving up for it. Mm-hmm. So if you said to me, Andrew, well, gee whiz, Rick, you know, you got $1,200 you saved for the hot water tank, you're not spending it. I said, well, because the hot water tank hasn't gone yet.
Right.
So to me, it's like, you know, give me a break. So when I can't count on state, I've got to save up. The other thing, too, is during this whole business with the federal money for school districts, some of them did improvements, there's no doubt. Some of them fixed the roof. Some of them bought, you know, some actual help for kids, like behavioral specialists and helping out with the social emotional growth and things like this. But the other thing, too, that they did is save some money into reserves. And many of them went below the tax cap and did not increase taxes as much, thinking the state is going to continuously come through. And I think that's starting to be a problem for some of the districts. So the idea is they've tried to upgrade security systems, for instance. As you know, nothing can happen to a child. I mean, seriously, we've got to protect. So we've had a lot of school districts upgrade things. We have the blue lights outside, for instance, warning people the school's in lockdown. And the mention about the sign. What do we got a new sign for? That's part of the security system.
Okay.
We can alert in some of the newer signs, you know, that's why they're replacing them. Mm-hmm. The newer ones, you can actually direct people, you know, The shooter's in the back, okay, or don't come down this driveway, or a school is closed. So what happens is they're part of a security system. We're trying to harden the glass. We're trying to make it so you got to buzz your way into the front door and be approved to come in. So there's a lot of ways the school spent some of this federal money as well as trying to save it.
You deal with schools all across the state.
Oh yeah.
Is it the norm now in Oneida County? Every school has a police officer or a sheriff's deputy,
a school resource officer.
And I believe it's law enforcement is at every school in Oneida County. Is that the case around the country or around the state?
It is not the case around the state. Some schools are struggling. I've got to say that Oneida County, and particularly our sheriff, has done a great job, as well as our county exec, in making sure the school resource officers are available to our school districts.
Yeah.
That is not the case across the state.
It is not.
And I've seen a lot of board meetings where they're debating, can we hire one? Because now the money's getting pinched. The big question is, where do we start cutting back? Because they do want to right size. I think they want to right size. But here's the problem with right sizing. We had a teacher do this. When you start taking programs away, then the public comes out and says, wait a minute, save my program. These parents save my program.
It's like budgeting the state or federal budget.
Right. Well, can you imagine if we invited the entire community in here to decide, how the microphone should be, whether or not the red light should be the green light? You see, so what happened? Democracy's messy. But the thing is, these are community schools, and they're really important.
We're talking to Dr. Rick Timms, the statewide school finance consortium, along with Archie Timms Inc. He deals in for the most part, in school finance.
Correct.
So that's where all of this comes. One of the things people always say is the lottery and now, gambling in New York State, it goes to schools. But isn't the way this is kind of the bait and switch that
right.
Let me give an example. I was a young assistant superintendent, and the lottery came out, where they're going to have lotteries supporting schools. And we used to get a check. In those days, you used to get a check. Now they just drop the money into your account, but you used to get a physical check. And we got, we'll say, $100,000. We use that as an example in operating aid. We get a check from the state. Well, all of a sudden, the mail comes in. I got 2 checks now. I'm going, holy cow, here's the lottery aid money.
Yeah.
So I open the first check, and it says $50,000. I'm thinking, oh, my gosh, this is great for this district. Then I open up the operating aid check, and it says $50,000. It's the same amount of money. What actually happens is the lottery money is supplanting the state money.
Right.
So in other words, they
You're
collect
still
money
getting
from
the
the
same amount of
lottery.
money,
They give it to the school. That where the state doesn't have to give that money to the school.
So the state's saying this, and they can use, believe me, they can then take that money and use it somewhere else.
Yes, then they can use their money for something
back
else.
to your hot water tank, your water heater example, right? Is that if it does in government, if the money doesn't get spent, then the people say, well, why do you need it?
Well, yeah, but here's the interesting thing. The governor, who's telling districts now, hey, look, start using those reserves, which we do not know we could replenish based on what the governor's doing with state aid. She's saying, use your reserves, use your reserves. Well, wait a minute. We don't want to then have to fall back on taxpayers to fill in the reserves that the state doesn't. But, she's built her reserves from $15 billion to almost $20 billion this year. She has more reserves as a percentage of budget than we're allowed to have. So her rainy day funds, and I'm not begrudging her rainy day funds, but then don't tap ours by withholding funds from us.
Right.
So lead by example.
Is there a chance that I know this is being looked at by a third-party commission? Is there a chance that this improves, that this gets fixed?
Well, here's the problem. The Rockefeller Institute of Government, which is a very well-known and very great organization, by the way, a lot of statisticians, they're going to be looking at the formula. Now, I'm sure they're going to get help from the Education Department and probably other people who deal with this formula all the time. But the problem is they only got 9 months to redo this formula, which took years to create. And I think the thing is, I think they're going to give it their best shot. We'll see what happens. What I'm a little concerned about is the charge by the governor, though, was not to look at the formula to see how it could best meet the needs of students and the communities. It was also to meet the needs of the state. And this, I hope we don't run into a problem between this and the state constitution, which says that the state has to provide funds for school districts, enough funds, adequate enough funds to provide sound basic education for each child. Okay, and that's what our lawsuits were about in the beginning. So I'm praying that I think what's going to happen is this. I think is going to be maybe a first effort, and I think we're going to kind of metamorphosis into this type of idea. We're going to kind of move into it to do the complete formula over again and say this is the new one and that's it.
Yeah.
In 9 months, I think is very difficult.
I do find that government does things really well. I mean, look at the redistricting; they did such a great job on that.
Yeah. Well, here's the problem I'm having is a lot of these smaller districts, what they're trying to do is really take money away. And now this year they said, okay, we'll keep you what we call safe from harm, which means we won't take any money away. We'll just give you what we gave you last year. But then she pledged to revisit the deductions next year and the year after. And of course, this then starts making me think, she's trying to push mergers of these school districts?
Yeah.
Now, I just watched school districts go through all kinds of problems trying to change their logo and their mascot. Can you imagine crushing these districts all financially, particularly rural districts? And we've got a bunch of them around here.
Yeah.
And the state is largely rural, if you think about it.
And the problem with these smaller school districts, in a lot of cases, I mean, look at the distance a school like Mount Markham has to travel for their students. It's just...
You've got districts up in the north, 400 square miles.
Yeah.
Now, you just don't merge these things together. So I think some people will be starting to think about, what about regional high schools?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the problem you've got is then will they get the local diploma from the home school, or how's it work? Because you know what happens when we started looking at the logo and the mascots, people say, hey, we were the this, we were the that when I graduated and I wanted to stay the same.
Yeah.
If mergers were popular, I'm sure we would have merged a ton of districts by now.
They don't want to merge fire departments. They don't want to merge local police departments. They don't want to merge schools.
Well, if the state starts reneging on paying these schools and the finances get tough, it's going to come down to you're going to pay for what you get. If you want to stay independent, you'll have to pay to stay independent. And I don't think a lot of communities they don't have the capacity, certainly.
I want to leave with one...
and Lance has a question, too.
Okay,
so
I'll let you do that one first.
Bill, I have one simple question. Have you ever had someone come on and be happy with the state budget, no matter who the governor is?
No one's ever happy.
Yeah, right.
Every budget that comes out, there's going to be somebody
this is not a good budget.
Well, you got to keep in mind, in the democracy, they say the highest esteem that you can have is when half the people are happy and just a couple more people are happy.
Yeah.
So it's unhappy versus happy.
It makes for a lot of unhappiness.
Yes, exactly.
But this is I don't know if you saw what happened in Baton Rouge. Where you have
you had an affluent group of people,
a wealthy section of Baton Rouge that decided we're breaking off.
Yeah,
we're going to form our own new city, and it's not something you see often.
No, right.
And a new city has been formed,
and they were allowed to do it
in Louisiana. They were allowed to do it by the courts, and now they've broken. So Baton Rouge has now lost all of its tax base.
Yeah.
They're forming a new school district because they didn't like the old one, where their kids were going to school with the poor kids. And the kids of color, I guess, minorities. Boy, are we setting a very dangerous precedent here?
Well, that's not allowed in New York State, by the way.
Yeah.
So what happens is the only way school districts can go away is either if they dissolve, then that property is actually annexed by another school district or centralized. That's why they call them central school districts, by the way. Just for the record.
So there would be no benefit to do that here.
No. Matter of fact, there's no way to do that here.
And then the other, however, there clearly is in Louisiana, and that's dangerous, I feel.
Yeah, the truth is, look, every kid's important.
Yeah.
And the school district, in some cases, here's what's starting to happen. I think in terms of society, whether we like it or we don't like it, whether it's popular or unpopular, schools are becoming, in some cases, the family to the child.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, we've got more homeless kids in New York State now than ever before. We've got all kinds of issues.
Distant parents.
Lackluster. Well, you had a news article about somebody slaps their kids and puts their nose next to the I mean, really? I mean, so who's befriending this kid? I'll tell you who it is. It's their teachers, their guidance counselors, their social workers.
And who knows? It may have been a mandated reporter situation, and that may have been where it came from. The scary part about now, I understand. So you're living in Baton Rouge. It's the worst school district in the state, in a state that's one of the worst states for education to begin with. You say we're paying all the taxes, we're getting nothing. We want something better for our kids. In New York, that is, all right, we'll send them off to private school.
That's right, or charter school or whatever.
But there, so I can understand where people are upset, but why not become involved and make your school district better?
That's what I think. I think the thing is no budget, state budget is perfect for everyone. Absolutely not. There's always winners and losers and everything. But the truth of it is, I think the strength of our communities is that we take part in the communities and we try and make things better, not tear things apart.
Yeah. All right. We appreciate the time.
Sure.
Thank you so much.
Always a pleasure.
Good to see you guys.
And you notice he brought his own headphones.
He did, and they're the good ones too.
Yeah. With these mics are, because those who don't know, he really helps us operate our Christmas show every year.
Great musician,
because he has a history of playing in bands, and it's not often you see a school superintendent, which he was at a couple different places, including at Riscany, where your superintendent comes out and shreds the electric guitars. Pretty cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Quick break. We'll come right back at WIBX.
With summer just around the corner, wouldn't it be great to have AC? You deserve to have air conditioning in your home. And no, I'm not talking about those clunky window units. I'm Jen from Standard, and my team is here to help. Regardless of the type of home you have or your income, we can install AC and make sure you stay comfortable this summer. And even better, in many cases, rebates and incentives significantly reduce the cost, or you could even get it for free. Call Standard Heating, Cooling, and Insulating today at 315-859-6292. We promise to save you money.
The Potting Shed Antiques in Whitesboro is buying silver, gold-filled, vintage costume, estate jewelry, and U.S. and Canadian coins. They've been your hometown buyer for the past 52 years. While other gold and silver buyers claim to offer the highest prices, the Potting Shed Antiques actually delivers. Let Don Hartman take a look at your individual pieces or your entire collection. The Potting Shed Antiques, open Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. Please call ahead for an appointment. Visit thepottingshedantique.com.
EasyCater, 100,000 restaurants, one platform. Need food for a meeting or a company event? EasyCater has everything you need to make food for work, work. With easy online ordering and reordering. Save your favorite orders, make edits as needed, and click. We even help you with expenses by keeping your receipts all in one place, which means all you need to do is sit back and enjoy the food. From ordering to reporting, EasyCater has everything to make food for work, work. Order 24/7 at easycater.com.
Paid for by government.com.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 50 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-973-3077 and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-973-3077. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-973-3077 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-973-3077.
Aches and pains aren't trophies. They're just barriers keeping pros like you from getting the work done. You know this business can be back-breaking. All the more reason to partner with someone who has your back, like Clinton Tractor and Ferris Commercial Mowers. Ferris is about helping you finish strong and feel good doing it, with patented suspension technology that allows you to mow faster and get more work done in comfort so you can feel good tomorrow. Visit Clinton Tractor today or at clintontractor.net. Ferris, work hard, feel good.
Rodney Atkins, June 20th, 7:30 p.m. at the Stanley Theater. Get your tickets now at the Stanley Theater box office or online at thestanley.org.
Spring into summer with massive savings from Liverpool Pool and Spa, your headquarters for summer fun. Now through Memorial Day, save up to 75% on all backyard essentials while supplies last. Shop patio furniture, pool chemicals, pool toys, floats, and games. Now through the end of May, 25-pound buckets of 3-inch chlorine tabs, regular $179, now only $99. Lowest price in Central New York. Stop by our East Dominic Street location in Rome today. And remember, don't just dream it, live it.
Replacing your roof isn't a decision you take lightly. You want industry standards met with affordable options and a crew who knows how important a sound roof is to you and your family. Dennis Padula & Sons Roofing is your hometown roofers with deep roots in our community. Padula Roofers specialize in residential roofing projects. They're a GAF-certified master elite roofing contractor who keeps their standards above the rest. Call 315-733-1564 to find out more about their Roofs for Troops mail-in rebate. Dennis Padula & Sons Roofing, your hometown roofers.
Think identity theft won't happen to you? Think again. There's a new victim every 3 seconds in the U.S., over 15 million this year alone, and many don't even know they're victims. LifeLock alerts you to identity threats you could miss even when you monitor your credit. If your identity's stolen, a dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft, but everyone can save up to 25% their first year with my name, Clay, as the promo code at lifelock.com.
Listen, I want to tell you about Fred F. Collis & Sons, heating, cooling, and insulation. Summer is, now it might not seem this way. It might not seem to be true, but summer is just around the corner. It's coming. And actually, we'll get a little sunshine at some point today before it rains again. Air conditioning, insulation are key to helping you maintain the comfort in your home. And you can count on Collis for both air conditioning and insulation. In fact, for a very limited time, Carrier Cool Cash Spring rebates are back to help you save hundreds to thousands on Carrier heating, cooling, and indoor air quality equipment, all installed by the professionals at Fred F. Collis & Sons. And if you're in need of insulation, they have you covered as well. They have great installers. And in some cases, customers have been able to get this done at no charge with rebates that are out there. Collis offers free estimates and their home energy assessment audit. It's absolutely free. I had it done at my house, and there were some things that we needed to do, and we did those things, and we have saved money as well. Yorkville and in Rome and in Syracuse. It's Fred F. Collis, and they're hiring right now. If you're in need of a job, reach out to Collis today. FredFCollis.com, Yorkville, Rome, Syracuse, 315-860-1301.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, minutes to go. Some quick comments. Andrew, what do you have?
Well, we got Dick in Deerfield. Sorry to undo a local myth, but Herkimer diamonds are known by geologists as doubly terminated quartz crystals and have been found in many other locations, including Arizona, Afghanistan, Norway, Ukraine, and China.
I don't know anything about that, to be honest with you, Dick in Deerfield, and maybe that's true. I don't know. They say it is the only place they can be found is here. But beyond that, I must say, they're huge around the country and around the world. And all I can tell you is, as I sit there today, and I'll be in the mine today on, I will be broadcasting from the mines on Home Shopping Network today from 2 until 3 o'clock. And as I watch the amount of sales of their jewelry made with Herkimer diamonds, it just blows my mind.
And
it
even
is
though
unbelievable. And
they sell fast.
And
even though I'm not a huge fan of hers, that their Meghan Markle loves the Herkimer diamonds. Also, Kevin in Utica getting back to us about the tree dedication, and I'll be sure to pass this along to Farmer Ben, but the tree dedication in honor of Kevin Lewis will be at 5:30 p.m. today at 121 2nd Street, which is the Soil Water District office.
Let's see.
Lance and Lee continuing, but everyone wants more. Where is the magic money tree? Well, that is a good question, Lance.
The health department graded, we have people on this was earlier, we had a COO, Dr. Rick Carvolth of Wynn Hospital. Of course, the news today, we had him on this morning answering questions. I hear Steve Houck says, I give the doctor credit for coming on and answering questions too often. The trend is to hide. That was a good move by MVHS. Joe says the hospital was graded C by the health department. Jules says they sent me home with a with a broken foot because there was no one there to read the x-rays.
I do think they're dealing with staffing issues.
I think
big
there's a
time.
staffing problem that's really a big problem. Larry, am I mistaken? I thought your father-in-law was from Buffalo and worked for Verizon previously.
Wait.
I have relatives who live on my wife's side, live on Grand Island, who worked for Verizon. And that might be the confusion there. So that is true. And it just so happens it's on my wife's side, so my father-in-law as well. But he was from Niagara Falls and has worked in education since graduating from my wife's alma mater, his Geneseo. Any other quick comments here?
Steve Hauk messaging in, Herkimer Diamond Mines is featured in the Smithsonian. Just saw it last week.
It is absolutely true. A Herkimer diamond is in the Smithsonian, and it says it is the only place in the world that you can find the Herkimer diamond. So either Dick is right or the Smithsonian. I'm going with Dick. Let me go to somebody wanted to come on anonymous. Those are always fun calls.
Oh, boy.
How did we lose it?
Are we on delay?
Damn it all. Here he is, Ryan Nobles from NBC. Ryan, good morning.
I'm definitely not anonymous. I'm here.
You're not. You stick
Are you
your neck
really,
out.
Ryan?
You stick your neck out every day.
And also, if it is a diamond that comes from Herkimer, then that would be the only Herkimer diamond.
That is true.
That is a good point.
What type of mineral it is.
And,
right?
and it is a crystal, I believe. It is a Herkimer, known as the Herkimer diamond.
Dan Aykroyd uses it for his vodka.
That is very true. That is true. Ryan, what's your big story today? What are you working on today?
Well, I'm tracking two big things today, Bill. The first is whether or not Marjorie Taylor Greene's going to actually pull the trigger here and try and boot Speaker Johnson. She seems to be losing quite a bit of steam in that regard. The past 2 days has had two lengthy meetings with Speaker Johnson that have really amounted to nothing. And she has a long list of demands. He insists that they are not negotiating, is how he put it yesterday. So, she's in a position now where she is just doing everything she possibly can to get as much attention for as long as possible. When I asked her about that yesterday, if it was just an attention-seeking effort on her part, she got really mad at me.
I'll bet.
Question. But, yeah, so the long and short of it is that they sorry, I'm just getting in my car.
Yep.
That they're waiting to figure out what the next stage of all of that is. And, it does appear long.
Am I losing you there? Yeah, got you now.
Sorry, my
I see. Okay.
But anyway, that story, I'm actually kind of getting annoyed with it because it just won't end and there's no real resolution in sight. But I think the other big story that's happening today that probably your viewers are interested in, your listeners are interested in, is that the House is going to hold a hearing on these college protests that are happening all around the country, and in particular, they're going to be focused on what's happening here in Washington D.C. at George Washington. Last night, and probably not a coincidence because they were planning on holding this hearing today, but last night the Washington, D.C. police finally came in and broke up the encampment at George Washington. And the House Republicans, this has kind of been an issue that they've really focused in on, this idea that college presidents are not doing enough to rein in anti-Semitism on campuses all around the country. And so this hearing today is going to talk about what should and should not be done, where the line is between free speech and violent protest, where, the First Amendment starts and where it ends. This is one of these things that I think is dogging President Biden as he tries to mount a successful reelection campaign. Because, as I think we talked a lot about on this show, for President Biden, it's all about turnout, and he needs young voters to turn out. He needs, the type of voter that is angry about what's happening in Gaza. And, if that voter doesn't show up for him in November, he's in trouble. And the more these protests kind of play themselves out, it looked like a ceasefire maybe was possible. And then when the ceasefire didn't happen, I think that made the situation a lot more complicated for him.
So yesterday we had Congressman Brandon Williams, our congressman of the 22nd, on the air. He said a couple of things. I wanted to start with
this was kind of breaking news in locally
really,
here, because he had never shared the information he shared with us to anyone else.
This was new, and I'm just going to read you the transcript from it, Ryan, instead of trying to play the audio. I asked him, have you spoken with Marjorie Taylor Greene, and whether you have or haven't, what would you like to say to her today? And he said, well, I'll tell you this. I don't think I've said this publicly. I've had one conversation with Marjorie Taylor Greene in my year and a half in Congress. She came and sat next to me during a Republican conference meeting and said, hi, I'm Marjorie. And then she paused and looked at me. He said, I'm not kidding. She said, I'm not really as crazy as people say. And he said, I looked at her and I said, excuse me, but I got to get some coffee. And I never went back.
Yeah, well, I got right up and walked away.
The other thing that he said, well, so you want to comment on that?
So his context on that was that he's tired of her nonsense, and he doesn't care who knows what his thoughts are about it.
He's been quite interesting because he has obviously has a long military background and a nuclear sub. But sometimes I don't know. Is he with Trump all the way? Is he? And I can't really tell.
Well, he certainly supports Mike Johnson. That's
but
for
he
sure.
supported McCarthy and he supports Mike Johnson. So
yeah,
go ahead.
I think that, and I have not gotten the chance to really get to know him. It's been on my list of things to do is to introduce myself and make a connection with him. I've been able to do that with a number of members of the New York delegation. Mark Molinaro, for instance, I've gotten to know pretty well, and Nick LaLota and the Long Island guys who were heavily involved in the first round with Kevin McCarthy. Mike Lawler is another one who I've gotten to know a little bit. And, I do think that you've seen kind of a trend, particularly with the upstate and Long Island Republicans who, in many ways are the majority makers for the Republican conference. And they've been the group in the Republican conference that have been the voice of reason to say, hey, guys, we've got to show a degree of governance and the ability to get things done for our constituents. And if we don't do that, we're not going to win re-election. And for somebody like for somebody like Congressman Williams, Marjorie Taylor Greene's antics, they blow back on him in Central New York, right? Mm-hmm. And because he's on the same team as her. And so he's got to answer for every debate he's in, for every interview he does. When she does something wacky, he's got to answer for that because they're on the same team. And that's what we've seen across the country. We've seen a lot of these moderate-ish Republicans, bow out because they don't want to have to answer those questions anymore. Right. And so you're right, he's kept it close to the vest. He seems kind of leans MAGA in the MAGA direction, but he certainly has some moderate votes. He voted for all the supplemental packages, I believe. So, he's it's a very difficult place for these guys to be. But what I think a lot of times the Freedom Caucus people don't understand is it's the Brandon Williams, the Mike Lawlers, and the Mark Molinaros that are going to protect your majority. It's not going to be Marjorie Taylor Greene. And these guys don't seem to understand that.
Sometimes you wonder, do Republicans like winning? Because it seems like they don't. It has not been they have struggled in the winning department. He said, I have had enough. I've had enough with the extremes on both sides. That was his comment yesterday. The other thing that he said, which was, you want to comment on that?
Well, it's interesting that he says that because one of the things I asked Marjorie Taylor Greene yesterday, another moment she got annoyed with me, and it's on my Twitter or X, whatever you call it, if you want to watch the video. One of the things that she's demanding of Mike Johnson is that he doesn't put a single piece of legislation on the floor that doesn't have the support of the majority, meaning most Republicans support a piece of legislation. And I suggested to her, and I think Congressman Williams is in this group, that the motion to vacate does not enjoy the support of the majority of the majority.
That is correct.
And so why would you put something on there that is completely an antithesis of the demands that you're making? And she said, well, she has 3 supporters, which is not. I think that falls short of the majority.
Yeah, a little bit.
But
A little
anyway,
bit.
Yeah.
Maybe she is crazy, as they say. I don't know. The other thing that he got onto the issue, I mean, you'll recall that he is a big supporter of Israel, and he was the one when that protest was going on at one of those the Capitol buildings back in October or back in whenever it was. I guess it was late October. He did his own protest waving the Israeli flag back then.
He also told a lot of the local college presidents, he said, don't allow anything in my district or otherwise he's going to go to war basically with them.
So it's very interesting because he did say, there's free speech, and he said, I believe in free speech, but free speech does not protect hate speech. So I didn't want to get into it with him because but that is untrue. The First Amendment covers all speech, including hate speech. Otherwise, we wouldn't have the KKK, right? They have every right, and we wouldn't have a Nazi party candidate running somewhere in America for public office. However, if your hate speech is precipitating violence, that now crosses the line. Do you want to talk about that just a little bit?
Yeah, no, that's exactly right, and I think that's kind of the weird space that we find ourselves in because people don't. And I'm not suggesting this is Congressman, but I think in general people don't understand where the First Amendment protection begins and where it ends.
Yes.
Basically it means that you can't be put in jail for saying racist things, but if you are using racist tropes to go after someone in a violent way or in a way that hurts them or hurts people that they love, that's where you have broken the law. And then, that also extends to the conversation around social media. Like the government is not going to put Twitter in jail or X or whatever it's called now for posting racist things. But there is some responsibility and there's a consequence for X not policing that on their own.
Yeah.
And people seem to be confused by that at times. So I do think that I understand where the congressman's coming from in this regard. And I do think that the concern about anti-Semitism right now is just at an all-time high because of just the way that the situation has played itself out in the Middle East. And it becomes difficult. You and I have had this conversation a lot because that doesn't mean that you give carte blanche for the Netanyahu administration to do whatever they want, whenever they want. It's not anti-Semitic to be critical of the way they're prosecuting this war. It's anti-Semitic to be critical of the way they're prosecuting their war and suggesting it's because of their Jewish faith. And that's what I think people often blur that line.
No doubt about it. And I couldn't agree more. Ryan, as always, we appreciate it. Safe travels, and we'll talk again next week. Thank you.
And when you have congressmen on and they break news, you should let me know, and I'll get it out there.
All right, I'll send this story to you. I'll send it because you said it yesterday morning. I'll send it to you in just a bit.
Right.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right,
I
have a good
appreciate
one.
it. Have a good one. Bye.
Ryan Nobles from NBC. Mazda. Move to Mazda sales event with Ricky Z going on right now. Drive a 2024 Mazda CX-30 select sport model for only $275 a month. And you can save with low APR financing, 0.0%, 1.9%, 2.9%, 3.9% on select award-winning new 2024 Mazdas. Let's make your deal on a new Mazda, says Ricky Z. Number 1 nationally in customer satisfaction, Steve Ponte Mazda, Commercial Drive in Yorkville. And by Sarah's Flooring Outlet, the area's leading flooring store for anything that is flooring. Whether you're looking for vinyl flooring, carpeting, or the Pergo Extreme, of course, there's the 60-mile radius of the store. You get a price guarantee. You will not find a better price within a 60-mile radius, period, when it comes to Pergo Extreme. And their selection is larger than everywhere else. If you're looking for flooring, Sal and everybody over there at Sarah's Flooring Outlet are ready to take care of you. There's a $50 off coupon on their website. And you can get 6 months interest-free financing in Sarah's Flooring Outlet, Route 49 Plaza, on the River Road in Marcy, and online at sarahsflooringoutlet.com. I didn't check with you to see if that was okay, but is it okay?
You're lucky I've got your back.
It is what it is. Listen, we're back here tomorrow morning. Enjoy your day.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome, W295EI, WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
It's happened again. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Police clashed with pro-Palestinian protesters.
Why are you in riot gear?
That was early this morning in D.C., where Fox's Lucas Tomlinson is near George Washington University.
All is calm here outside the encampment, but a far different story at 3:30 when the decision was made to clear the encampment. Police had to use OC spray or pepper spray. In fact, our cameraman Ed got some of that. We was downwind of that.
There were 35 arrests. Hoping to stop the war being protested, CIA Director William Burns is in Israel and just met with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. He's trying to broker ceasefire talks. The U.S. has warned Israel against going after Hamas militants in Rafah, an area of Gaza where Palestinian civilians have been urged to flee. That's prompted a delay in an American shipment of bombs to Israel.
As a matter of course, the administration won't comment on specific sales and transfers of weapons, National Security Communications Advisor John Kirby says, but tells reporters,
our commitment to Israel's security remains ironclad.
Reports say shipments of precision-guided munitions have been delayed at least 2 weeks.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. There's news on 2 Trump criminal trials. The one in the federal classified documents case is on hold indefinitely as both sides keep battling over legal issues. In New York, it's an off day at the former president's trial where Stormy Daniels' testimony got steamy, detailing an alleged sexual encounter he paid her to be quiet about before the 2016 election.
That's an affair that former President Trump denies. Daniels explained in graphic detail, and Trump's lawyers claim that the jury heard testimony that was unnecessary and unrelated to the charges that Trump faces in this case, so they asked for a mistrial. Judge Juan Merchan denied that request, but agreed that Daniels' testimony went a bit too far.
Fox's Nate Foy. The president's charged with falsifying records. America's listening to Fox News.
The global elites are waging a war on our financial freedom. They want to control our future through digital currencies and a cashless society. By eliminating cash, they can track every transaction, impose negative interest rates, and even freeze accounts at will. But patriots are fighting back by investing in physical gold. Hi, Stephen K. Bannon here. I believe gold is the answer. It safeguards your wealth better than any other asset. And even better, with a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group, you can move your retirement savings